Hello, sir. Please, can you take over, Mr. Wells?
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, sir.
Greetings to
Thank you very
everyone in
much.
the
Good
house.
afternoon, sir.
Yeah, we're back again. I can see
Good
girls
day,
see
sir.
everybody
Yes.
around. Greetings, everyone. Okay, it's
Greetings, sir.
my pleasure getting to yeah, greetings to everyone. So it's my pleasure getting to have us commence the class now. So as to a view to introduction, I want to reiterate that we actually get to maximize this moment and we get to take every bit of what will be taught today seriously so that we can actually have every bit of information that will be disseminated today fully utilized. And I want to believe the essence of the reasons why we are here, we are actually trying to see how well we can navigate through the traveling space and get to maximize all opportunities that present itself within the traveling off species so that we can actually get to render services that will be bespoke and that will also bring about the generation of revenue. So in view or in the light to that now, our advice, I think the class has been recorded. So let's get to take questions. Let's get to take questions in the course of the class. And I think at the end of the class, I'll be giving out just one person. I learned a larger percentage of the participants in the class are in Nigeria. So just to encourage you for participating, I'll be giving out 20,000 Nigerian naira. I think that has been sent already. So at the end of the class, somebody will be going home with 20,000 Nigerian naira, just one person. So the much you can pay the very best of attention you can and get to take notes if possible. And if there'll be need to ask questions, you'll get to ask questions. Every bit of what we'll be teaching today are actually what costs so much. Some persons pay thousands and thousands of thousands. I could still remember before I could actually get to enroll for the to become an immigration lawyer, especially for Canada, it cost around 15,000 Canadian dollars. But a bit of some of those informations will be dissipated for free, and you're still going to get all of that most likely between the time we're in this meeting and tomorrow. So I just want us to maximize the space so that we can utilize every bit of the opportunities that today will be presenting. And just like I stated, at the end of today's class, Madam Dorcas will be transferring 20,000 Nigerian naira to just one person in the house. So let's maximize the moment. So once again, so everybody, I think a lot of person, I can still see a few persons, but I think virtually everybody who is here, 80 to 70 to 80% of the persons here are the regular persons who we have been having similar meetings like this. So in light to that, for those who are joining us, a big congratulations for making it down and for also taking the initiative to see how well you can equally increase your own revenue. So in that manner, so we are going to start without much ado. We actually have fantastic programs or fantastic knowledge areas to be gained in the course of this short section. So for today, we are going to be looking at just two areas, the IATA, and we are going to look at e-visas, IATA and e-visa services. And God helping us for tomorrow, we are going to touch other areas like travel insurance, immigration law, how to get proof of funds for with 0% and you just get the funds, how to go about that. But for today now, we are going to look at IATA registration. It's going to be a practical session. So you're going to see the IATA dashboard, what you need to know, how to sign up and all. Then in sequence to that now, we are going and we are still going to look at some free visa countries where a larger percentage of anyone with the Nigerian international passport can go to, and what they need to go there, and how to get them ready, So we are going to look at that. So, but before we commence services and the e-visas, then IATA will come in later, but all of that will be taught in today's class. Now, when we talk about visa, I'm pretty much sure some of us in the house have traveled before. Some have left the shores of Africa, some have gone to Europe, some have been to the American continent, as to Asia and all. So when it comes to visa, it's not something new. It's not something that is actually new. So all of us actually know what visas are and all. But to further broaden that now, what we'll be looking at today is just a practical section. Look at theories. I might not go further to start telling you types of visas that applies and all. We are going to look at and how to go about them. So we'll be using Nigeria as a case study. So Nigerians basically who actually wants to travel, because most parts of us are in the Nigerian nation, and some parts of our clients are going to be Nigerians and Africans. That's a bit part of our energy will be channeled at. So looking at the Nigerian passports, the Nigerian international passports actually have access to certain countries there are certain countries Nigerian international passport holder can go to without visa. And there are certain countries Nigerian international passport holder can actually move to with the use of the e-visa. And there are certain countries Nigerian international passport holder we only get to, or if only if he or she has a visa, either from an embassy, a consolidating center, or a consular. And there are still places Nigerian passport holders can go to without a visa, but they will be issued or given visa on arrival. So there are countries like that. So we are going to just take a brief look at some of those countries, some of the limitations that applies, the documents you need to get the client, and what the client needs to know when he or she arrives at the airport to get to their destination, the things they need to know. So by statistic as at today,
I've looked at it down. Don't tell me rubbish. What's happening again? We can't hear anything again.
yeah, sorry, I needed to switch my network. Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I needed to get a good network so that we don't get so many interruptions. Now, just like I was saying earlier, that we'll be starting with the e-visa services, and it's going to be a practical section. Then after that, now we move to the IATA. We are going to see how to sign up for the IATA, how the documentations, the requirements, and everything you need to know, so that you too, instead of depending on third parties to get IATA certification, you too can start registering other persons. And just like I stated earlier, also have been in the class that a few times we got some agencies to register them for IATA. They paid as high as $2,000. And by equivalent, you know what that would be in the Nigerian economy today, using the Nigerian naira at about 1,471 to even 1,550 at the BDC market. So you are going to learn how to sign up for the IATA programs. You are going to learn the limitations that applies, the challenges, and everything you when we get to the IATA section. And at the end of today's class, we actually have a free gift outside the 20,000 Nigerian naira that will be credited at the end of the class to just one participant. We'll be giving out our own IATA material that every participant will be getting for free today. It's called the IATA Bible. So the essence or the reason for the IATA Bible is to serve as a guide, a kind of a statutory guide on all you need to know as touching the IATA industry. Because it's pre-believed that as a traveling agent or as a traveling consultant or as an educational consultant, if you're not so astute around IATA and all of these things, to some extent, you practically will not be considered to be a professional. And professionals are people who are astute at what they do. They are juggernauts in their fields and they are like gods in their professions. So that is the reason why we are giving out the IATA Bible. Ideally, if you want to get the IATA Bible outside this platform,
Thank you, sir.
that could go, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. That could go as high as $500. But I deem it necessary because I see everyone who is in this particular section to be a part of a family. I see everyone to be a part of a community, and your success is actually our topmost priority. I just want to see a space where, in the shortest possible time to come, a few and to everybody who participated or who have been taking part in all of these subsequent trainings and all, to become exceptionals when it comes to the traveling space and also to become top consultants. So in that case now, we'll practically have an ecosystem or a community where everybody excelled at their different service delivery. So the IATA Bible has been sent. So I believe at the end of today's class, Madam Dorcas is going to give us the Bible for free. It's called the Bible because it's actually the chronicles for excelling in the 21st century as a traveling consultant or as an educational consultant. So everything you need to know about the IATA is there. And you yourself too, at the end of today's section, we know how to register yourself and you know how to register other people for the IATA program. And for some of the certifications we are going to look at, which you might to some extent not be able to get at your disposal, we have actually made a provision for that. So for documents you don't have, we will be using our connections and good name to actually get you all of those documents at no cost. So if by adventure at the end of today's class, you decided to add IATA registration to your portfolio of services, you can charge your client whatever amount you want to charge them using the knowledge you'll be getting here today. And for all the documents you might need to actually spice up the application process, we'll be giving all of that to you at no cost because I just want everybody to succeed. Now, but before we go to the IATA, we'll be looking at the
Thank you.
visa
God bless
services.
you.
Yeah, we most welcome. We most welcome. So we are going to look at the visa services, how to start visa services. By far, visa services, just like the ticketing, the hotel reservations, visa services is actually technical in itself. But before we go over that now, I'll make bold to say for every visa that is denied, there are no village people. Yeah, like let me get to say that. A few times I do understand. I'm also Nigerian, traditionally, Africans are known for voodoo, are known for cosmic powers, are known for black powers. Like they could just do everything just to make certain persons or make people not to go forward in life. For every time a particular applicant gets a visa denial, I just want you to know that it's not his or her village people. It's not the devil. It's nobody's responsible. It's just as a result of documentation. The reason is because no visa officer wants to decline your visa. No visa officer wants to deny you visa. No visa officer wants to prevent you from going to a particular destination because he or she doesn't like you, because you are black, because you got dark skin. Nobody wants to do that. The reason is to the fact that for each of the interviewing officer, the consular or the visa officer, there are protocols, there are rules, there are laws, there are principles guiding approval. That's why you can actually do well in the visa space if certain documents are not in your possession. And one of those documents, especially when it comes to UK, Canada, US, you too need the immigration Bible. So we have what is also a kind of a document, statutory document that the immigration officer or the visa officer check through to either give you a denial. Nobody is responsible but you, or the traveling agent was responsible. So let's not get to see, because it's a general phenomenon to like American visa, they won't give you. That's not true. American denial or American visa denial is not because Americans don't want people to come to their country. It's apparently because the actually avail such opportunities are not met. So we are going to look at that too under the visa services. But I just want us to have our minds. No demons, there are no devils responsible for a visa denial. Yeah, like I could use a case study. I actually have a friend, so he was trying to put in for the American visa. And to look at that. So he was telling me he was denied actually. He was denied, so he didn't get it. But during the time he was still trying to get himself the visa and all before coming for interview and all, he told me he fasted for 9 days without eating. I was like, wow, that's so strange. He prayed for 21 days somewhere in Ekiti State, I think. No, Osun State now, that there's a mountain. There's a mountain in Osun State. So he was on that mountain for 21 days. And it was during the raining season. So most times he was beaten by rain on that same mountain. And he needed to fast 9 days without food. I think he said he was just taking fruit at night. And he was still denied. Right? So it's not God's fault for his denial. It's not the devil's fault. It's not his village people. For every denier, there is absolute. Sorry, can you guys hear me?
You just came back.
Yes, you just go back.
Okay, yeah.
We can't hear you again.
Okay, great. Okay, but you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you
we
now.
can.
Okay, now, so what I'll say in essence is you are not being a Can you guys hear me?
You just got back.
Okay, please. I don't know what's wrong with my home network. Now, what I'll say in essence is you're not denied because of your religion, you're not denied because of your skin color, you're not denied because you're a Nigerian or because you're coming from Africa. You're simply denied because certain documentations were not met, certain requirements were not met. So we are going to talk about that in depthly. So to go further into the class now, first, let's look at, we're using the Nigerian international passport as a case study. Yeah, Nigeria is our humble country. It's actually my country of nationality too. So it's actually a good place to come from. Trust me. Being a Nigerian comes with its own advantage. Yeah. So there are certain advantages we enjoy as a people. At least of everything, we're the mother of Africa. I'm sure nobody would take that away from us. And the most populated, blessed with natural resources also. So the Nigerian international passport is not doing bad either. Though our passport ranking is 191 in the world. Yeah. So by passport index ranking, Nigerian passport is 191. In the entirety of Africa, the only African nation that actually has the best passport ranking is Seychelles. So Seychelles is standing at 26th in the world. 26th in the world, while Nigeria is standing at 191. And with the Nigerian international passports, there are countries you can go without a visa. So if you want to visit any of those countries, you don't need visa. So we'll be taking it from there because this part has actually made more millionaires than even applying for Canada visa, having mastery over the UK visa. Right? So it's very, very important. So most Nigerians can actually go to countries like Antigua and Barbuda. They can go to Cape Verde. They can go to Dominica. There are about 28 countries. So maybe I'll just share my screen so that we'll get to see that so that we talk from there. So if you're holding the Nigerian international passport, you can easily go to these countries. But those countries are not so promising. Yeah, they're not so promising. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great now. Yeah, great. So now, over time, most persons have always wanted to leave the country, especially the Jackpot syndrome. Everybody wants to leave. Everybody wants to leave. So most persons don't actually care where they're leaving to. Yeah, I know a few persons will tell you just anywhere, just get me to anywhere. As long as I'm not in Nigeria, I'm fine. Though I do understand the economy is biting, our economy is not doing so well, and cost of living is just becoming so expensive by the day. So people actually want to live at every possible means. So there are still other traveling agencies who are actually rendering services on this part you can see, and they are making tons and tons of thousands and thousands. And one of the opening for these visa-free countries is the Caribbean nations. Now, on my list here now, if you can see my screen, now the highlighted parts, I'm about highlighting some part, they're actually the Caribbean nations. Most Nigerians have migrated to Barbados. Yeah, everybody wants to go because they want to leave the country. So they don't mind where they are going to. They just want to leave for Barbados. And I'm going to show you another screen. So on this other screen now, you are going to see the requirement for moving to Barbados. It's visa-free country, so you don't need anything to move to Barbados. But the challenge to going to Barbados, let me just mention some of the Caribbean nations here. Barbados, Dominica, St. Kitts. Okay, we don't have the Haiti, Fiji, Barbados, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis. So those places I just highlighted, Nigerians can go there visa-free. So as a matter of fact, you can even go there tomorrow. You can decide to go on Monday. And on this part of my screen, if you can see my screen, let me just get to take it off. If you can see my screen now. So if you look at this part, where am I from? Nigeria. Where can I go to? So if I get to type Barbados, for instance, on the list, you'll find that you can just move to Barbados with no visa documents. You don't need any documents. So the only thing you need to get to Barbados is health declaration. Can you see now? A health declaration is the only thing you need to move to Barbados. And you can get your Barbados 30-day single entry. You can get 60 days if you want to. You get that. Because for Barbados, you can actually stay, the lifespan, the time duration for Barbados is 6 months, right? You can stay in Barbados for 6 months. So there are so many persons who have actually gone and never returned. The reason is because these countries are actually in the North American continent. So they share borders with, they're in the same continent with countries like the United States of America, with places like Canada. So most persons feel if I just get to Barbados, somehow, I'll find my way, I'll move to Canada. And I know a few persons who have come to the US from Barbados, right? So you can say it's visa free. The only document they need is health declaration. The same for Dominica, because those are the only North American countries on our list. The same for St. Kitts and Nevis, the same for Fiji, the same for Haiti. Now, Micronesia and Montserrat are actually in Europe. Can you see that? Including Cook's Islands. So these are European nations. Cook Islands, Micronesia, Montserrat, they're actually in Europe. So there are a few persons who are like, okay, if I get to Montserrat, since I'm already in Europe, I'll find my way to Germany, or I'll go find my way to France, I'll go find my way to Italy, or any of the European nations, Luxembourg, Poland, Denmark, I'll find my way. So you too can render services in this line. Remember, there are persons who sell Kenyan visa. You can say Kenya is actually free. You don't have to do anything to go to Kenya from Nigeria. And there are states or Nigerians who want to go to Kenya. You can take that as a service too. Antigua and Barbuda too, the same thing, Caribbean. You don't need a visa to go to all of these places on this list. So there are about 28 countries. I will not want to talk about our countries because they're actually African countries, right? And Cabo Verde too is also an African country, but they share borders with some parts of the Indians, the archipelagos and all. So some persons go, okay, let me go to Cabo Verde because they look like whites, to be candid. Let me go to Cabo Verde. If I get to Cabo Verde, maybe from there I can jump out to another part of the world. So how do you make money from this? Now you make money from this service. Just talking about the visa-free countries, getting them health declaration form. You can charge them wherever you want to charge them. Your client don't know how this thing works. But the next possible challenge is if you get them these things, there's absolutely no way they can go to these nations from Nigeria. Because if they want to board flights, I will not want us to start checking flight. If they want to board flights, they are either going to go to either UK, Canada, or US. And for some of us who have taken the classes on ticketing, you agree with me that they won't be able to fly because they need a transit visa. And if they decide to go through other nations, maybe European nations, they are going to go through 2 Schengen nations or more. So they need a transit visa. So and if they decide, okay, yeah, but let me go to Turkey. If they bought Turkey can take them to Istanbul. We all know that they don't need visa for Istanbul. Then Istanbul to Panama, because Panama is also in the North American continent. But the challenge is for them to board in Panama, they need a transit visa. Do you now see the challenge? Otherwise, if they have gotten to Panama, they can go to any parts of, they can go to Fiji, they can go to, even Barbados is very close to Panama. They can go to St. Kitts and Nevis, they can go to Haiti, they can go to even Bahamas from there, though you need a visa for Bahamas. And getting some of these visa services are very simple. We'll still going to see all of that. So how will you see get clients? I tell you of a certainty, people in hundreds of numbers are wanting to even go to Barbados, but there's no way they can go. The only available service at the time is chartered flights. Yeah. So they can actually get to any of these nations using a chartered flight. And so far, only 2 chartered flights has actually gotten to these places this year. And we are actually helping out with those services as well. So if you feel you got clients who want to go to Barbados and you want to use chartered flight services, you can employ that service as well, right? So you can now see now, you too can start, you can start selling some of these packages. Trust me, I know someone who uses a chartered flight service. He did an advert for Barbados. He was selling the ticket for 4 million. I still don't get why Nigerians have so much money and they still want to go to some of those places. But people don't mind. He's selling the ticket for 4 million and the service was 2.4 million. And he had over 100 persons who applied. So if you can do the math, he actually made 1.6 million times 117 cheap. He doesn't have to stress himself to do too much. He doesn't have to do educational package. He doesn't have to do study abroad. All he does is he takes people to Barbados. He takes people to Fiji. Now to Fiji, you can go to Fiji without chartered flights. And how do you go to Fiji? For those of you who are interested in these services, you can chat me. You don't need chartered flight to go to Fiji. So you can still get clients, and there are hundreds of persons who are also wanting to go to these nations. Like if they can just get or find a way to go to Fiji, they will want to. So imagine you put up these services for sale. Imagine you are selling Fiji visa. You can just call it Fiji in 48 hours. You know why? Because health declaration document is the only thing they need for Fiji, and it comes out in 30 minutes. You can get Fiji health declaration in 30 minutes, cheap. And health declaration goes as low as $50. You can charge $200. Your client pays, you get them a declaration, then you get them the ticket. You can get a ticket to Fiji. You don't need transit visa for Fiji. So of all of these services on the visa-free countries, you can decide to start selling one. You can decide to even be doing Kenya package. It's free, we know, but you can charge as low as 80,000. There are persons who still want to just go have their passport stamped. People don't mind. As long as they can get their passport stamped, they will still go. You can still run all of these services under visa services. Now, if we get to go down the list, these are just free visa-free countries for Nigerians. Now, the next is the e-visa. E-visa is actually very important as well. So Nigerians can actually go to, I think the most important places on this list is Qatar, Kyrgyzstan, Djibouti, and Vietnam, South Africa. Okay, a few people go to South Africa. And for some of us who are on the group, we're doing South African visa already. I think the cost for the visa is just 9,900 naira. That's cheap. And you can still see traveling agencies charging 1 million naira to South Africa. Yeah. It's something you can do in 30 minutes on the South African visa platform. You don't even have to go to embassy. Your client don't have to go to anywhere. Just pick your device. It could be a laptop, your phone, your tablet, and you can get a South African visa with just 9,900 naira. Very cheap. You can decide to run such packages. Vietnam is there. For Qatar, I think it's around $27. And you can easily get Qatar visa in fewer times. For instance, to get, this is the Qatar visa application. aya.car. That's all. I'm sharing my screen. So to make applications for the Qatar visa, this is just where you come to. It's very easy. It doesn't require any form of stress. It's cheap. $27, you can get someone a Qatar visa. And for some of us who are maybe into visa services, you hear people saying freelance visa, Qatar freelance visa. There is absolutely no Qatar freelance visa anywhere. It's e-visa they are getting for the clients, but the client doesn't know. So they just come up with a name and spice it up. And with as low as $27, you too can apply. It's cheap. It's not so expensive. All you need to do is just go to the website hire.qa. For some of you can see my screen, hire.qa is just where you go to. All you need to come down here and start the hire journey. Can you see flying to Qatar is what you click on, and straight you sign up. So when you get to sign up, it takes you, select your country, just type Nigeria, very easy. Nigeria. Are you a GCC resident? No, GCC are actually nations that are Arabian nations in the coast cities. So you just click no, and straight are you permanent resident or a visa holder of any of those countries? If you don't have it, fine, just click no. Then the very next thing is confirm. Then can you see tourist visa? Just click on that from the comfort of your house, and you can see this visa costs 100 Qatar. And if I get place 100 Qatar on Google to dollars, is like $27. And $27 in Naira, I believe, is less than 50K. No, sorry, it should be less than 50K, I believe, regardless how bad our currency is looking at the time. So you too can just do these things. They are not rocket science. For South Africa, you can just go to South African visa portal and just sign up for a South African e-visa, each free. Same as Vietnam. Vietnam is even 2 days. You can get Vietnam visa as low as 2 to 5 days, whether tourist or business visa. And you know, with the trend now, most people want to go to Vietnam to shop for hair, to buy hair and the likes. You can still get your client a Vietnam visa, each free. The same also applies for the Kyrgyzstan too. Lesotho is in Africa, so most African countries might not interest Africans. But some Africans don't mind going to Qatar, some don't mind going to Vietnam, some don't mind going to South Africa, at least Suriname too. Some don't mind. And all of these services, you can actually get to render them each free. You don't need so much knowledge. They are not so expensive, but you only need two things. For an effective registration, because for most e-visa services, you have to get the following in place. First, you have to get your ticket, airline flight ticket ready. Then, second, you have to get your hotel reservations ready. But you know, it won't be making all sense for you to start booking flight and all, or start paying for hotels and all. So we have such services. So if you need documents, maybe you need an airline document, maybe a flight ticket to a particular destination to cover for your e-visa registration, we'll get that for you. You also need hotel as well, just for the registration, not as if they are paid services, not that we're paying for the hotels or paying for the flight. And all of those things will be confirmed and verified, because for the flight services we do, we can help you get a dummy ticket for that same registration. So with that dummy ticket, your client can actually use it to apply. And when he or she gets to apply, he or she will be given. The same also applies for hotel services also. And to add to those ones too, now let's move to visa on arrival countries. But still on these visa-free countries, I think this list is not yet updated. You can actually go to Singapore too. All you just need is a Singapore arrival card and head declaration, as well as nothing. You can go to Malaysia too. You could see how some clients want to go to Malaysia. Going to Malaysia, the only requirement is just to get a National Drug Law Enforcement character certificate. So if anybody wants to go to Malaysia, you can get all of that easy peasy. But your client, the only requirement your client has to get is he or she has to go and get NDLEA character certificate. So when he or she gets that, he or she can come and you apply for them. Then the next thing you need is just to get them and flight ticket, dummy flight ticket, as well as hotel, so that they can actually make the application. The same applies to for Singapore. So for Singapore, it's even 6 hours. Within 6 hours, you can get the Singapore arrival card plus the Singapore head declaration form or certificate. For Malaysia too, it's 3 to 4 hours you can get that. You get that now. So in that case now, that is just how to get some of those things up and ready. Now, secret to that also now, we've looked at the visa countries. We have countries that Nigerians can go on arrival. They get passport on arrival. And these are just some of the list, though not too many good countries like Mauritius. But if you are going to Mauritius, you actually need head declaration for Mauritius as well. In Maldives, you can still get clients who go to Maldives for vacation and all. I think those are just the only good countries on that list. Ethiopia is an African, Palau, Timor-Leste, Tuvalu, Uganda, and all, Mozambique and the likes. So when it actually comes, Mauritius is also an African country, and Maldives is also an African country. Madagascar is also an African country. But most persons have gone to Maldives for vacation. You don't need a visa. It's visa on arrival. All they need is just a flight ticket and an hotel reservation ticket, a valid flight ticket and a valid hotel reservation. Once they have that in place, they can actually get to fly to Maldives. And there are so many families going to Maldives for vacation. There are so many persons finding their way to Maldives for vacation. So you can actually get clients. You can actually get clients who could use those places. Now, the next is countries with visa requirements for Nigerian citizens. So many countries you can think of. So I will beg to take about 10-minute break just to get something up. Someone wants to deliver something to me, then I'll join shortly. So when I come now, I'll now get to say the basics requirements for getting visas, especially when you have to go to the consular or when you have to go to see a visa interviewer. So in the next 10 minutes, I should be back up and back. So I will request you guys just avail me a moment. I'll join you guys shortly, but I'll still be live notwithstanding.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
No okay, problem, thank you, sir.
No problem. Ano? Huh?
orin owó lọ gbogbo ìta ló dúró sí. rọra ń bíbà ẹ rọra ń bíbà ẹ. ọmọ ẹ ti
Hello? Hello?
Hello, we are here.
Sir.
Okay. But everywhere is quiet. He's not yet back.
Sure, we're waiting
Yes, we are
for
waiting
you.
for the convener now.
I would like him to emphasize more on Canada and US. I have
Canada
more
and
clients. Yes,
Where
I
you
have
dey
more
wrong go?
clients.
Where you
No
wrong
be
go?
me
That
dey
is
do. I get.
that should be under the countries that we need visa for now, and that is where he is
Yeah,
before he
I
said
will
he's
still
coming
ask
back.
questions on that. Let him
So let's be
emphasize more.
patient when he comes. When he comes, let's be patient.
Okay, no problem.
Hello? Hello?
Are you back?
Yeah, I am back now. Sorry for the break.
Okay.
My sincere apologies to that.
You're welcome. I've
You're
been
welcome.
waiting
Okay,
for
no,
you.
great.
Welcome.
Okay,
You're welcome,
thanks.
sir.
Thanks, everyone. Now back to my screen
Welcome back,
now.
sir.
Yeah, thanks so much. Now, we do have certain countries where visa will be required. And in that vein, or in that case, is either a Nigerian passport holder apply to either the embassy or the consular or to some immigration centers. And one of the popular centers in Nigeria, immigration centers, the VFS centers. For some of us who have actually applied for Schengen visas or who have applied for Canada visa, we practically must have gone or been to a VFS center in Lagos or in Abuja. So those are immigration centers. So in a bit now, when a visa is required, It simply means a physical interview or physical presence or the need for biometric capturing will also be required. Over time, statistically, most persons have been denied visas in this respite. In this vein, when they have to go to the VFS center, most times visa is denied. Going to the American embassy, visa is denied. Even making applications for UK, Canada, visas are usually denied. So what are some of the prerequisite factors? Now, we are going to split these countries on the list, about 170 countries. There are 170 countries. There's so many countries. The Nigerian passport is actually not doing well because places like Seychelles, for instance, is also an African nation. They have over 121 visa-free countries, including the United Kingdom and Canada. Even they actually have what is called the American visa for the Seychelles on a pool system. So you can see these are still African countries. A South African passport holder can still go to more countries. Someone from Mauritius can still go to more countries. Someone's from Morocco. Even Morocco have free visa entry to Canada. So you can imagine. So a Moroccan just holding his passport can go to Canada, everybody's dream country. And I'm sure it's most of us who are in this group to have been trying one way or the other to come or get ourselves to Canada. But someone from Morocco don't have to take the hustle, don't have to do all of this stress. He or she can just buy himself a flight ticket, get his health declaration document, board his flight, and straight to Toronto he comes, each free, just by virtue of his birth, just by virtue of being a Moroccan or holding the Morocco international passport. So now we are going to break this 170 countries into segments. Then we are going to look at the requirement that is needed for these countries. So far, so well, statistically, there are more success in the European nations because European nations are also doing well, but most persons don't want to go there. You know, by the current statistics, the US, Canada, UK, and Australia has always been the dream country for Africans. So, but first, let's get to look at the European nations. Now, vis-a-vis, from this list we have here, 27 countries in this list form what is known as the Schengen nations. So I'll just mention a few because of time. So this is a Schengen. Okay, let me ask a question. Okay, if you can see my screen, I'm going to ask somebody in the house. Does this country most people don't know about? They don't like going to this country, and it shares borders with a country. Okay, I've seen the country. If you can see my screen, this is Ireland. Let me ask someone in the group. Maybe this person will get free 20,000 Nigerian naira. Mr. Kelechi, is it Mr. or Mrs.?
Mr. Is Mr.
Oh, okay. Greetings to you, Mr. Kelechi. How are you today?
I'm good. Are you?
Yes, I'm great too. Have you heard about Ireland before?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Ireland a Schengen country? Do you have idea if it's a Schengen country? Because I want to talk about the Schengen countries now.
No, it's not a Schengen country.
Correct.
Sure.
Ireland is not a Schengen country,
It's
but
not.
it's also in Europe. Yeah, it's not. So
Yeah.
the reason is the fact that a particular country is in Europe does not make it a Schengen, right?
Yeah.
For some of us, sometimes late last year, you remember in some parts of, there were countries that came together to form what is known as the BRIC nations. How many of us remember those Russian guys?
We
We
had
do.
the news. I heard about
Yeah,
it.
the
We had
BRIC.
it
Good.
about it.
So you can see in that BRICS, even South Africa joined. Can you see that?
It's one
From
of them,
Africa.
yes.
Yeah. So
Mm.
the fact that a country is in Europe does not mean it's a Schengen nation. Because some of those nations, you see, some are part of the EU, some are part of the European Union. Nigeria is United Nations. Those ones are United Nations. But some countries in this list are part of the European Union. Some are part of the Schengen. So what the Schengen actually means is if you get to have the Schengen visa, you can travel to any of the Schengen regions with just a visa, with just one Schengen visa. So it could be Schengen visa for Croatia, it could be Schengen visa for Luxembourg, it could be Schengen visa for Romania, it could be Schengen visa for Poland, name it. But once you are able to get the Schengen, just one visa, you can actually go to any of those nations. And it's actually a good start, especially for some of us who are aspiring. The reason why one of the deniers for UK, Canada, especially for either conferences or using the visiting route, has always been no travel history.
History, exactly.
If you don't have a travel history, some of these hot top nations will not allow you to come to their country. The reason is because of the view that you might not want to go back to your country. But that is more reason why, regardless what, as much as you want to go to Australia or come to the US here or go to Canada, one of the things, or go to United Kingdom, you should do is, and least I forget also, for the United Kingdom, that is the UK too, you can equally get their visas, though we'll talk about those ones. Try and get a travel history first, at least for the last 5 years. You can even travel to Benin Republic, get the stamp. Do you see that now? Travel to South Africa, go to Kenya, go to Zanzibar in Tanzania, try it at Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. Just leave Nigeria at least. Since you have a mindset to leave the country to either the North American continent or to Europe, before you start making such moves and plans, a good travel history will increase your chances. We are still going to look at that. We increase your chances. So for the Schengen visas, one of the requirement for Schengen visas are very simple. Anybody can get them. You don't need to do too much. For instance, and there are countries in the Schengen regions that if at all you want to make application, don't apply for those countries. The reason is because those countries have a high demand of people wanting to come to them. So if you still join that demand, you might not get it. And that's more reason why when you are making applications, there are certain things to put to check. Now, the first is, what is the statistics? Approvals works with data. You can't actually join a trend that is actually not working. For instance, if you are going to come into if you are wanting a Schengen visa, to get a Schengen visa, you do that with the VFS Center. If you want links, I can share that maybe on your DMs after the classes. But the first thing is, there are Schengen nations that have no visa deniers. Let me ask a question. Anybody can answer if you know it. Between Croatia and Germany, who is more robust or who is more known?
Germany.
Germany.
Yeah. So now, if I want to go to Germany, I will not apply Germany. I'll rather apply Croatia or even Austria. Because if I get an Austria Schengen visa, I can still go to Germany for 6 months. And those visa is 5 years. I actually have 5 years, and the validity is 5 years. And the longest time I can stay for in any of the Schengen region is 6 months. So why take the stress and apply for France? Because a whole lot of people want to come to Paris. So don't join in that struggle anymore. There are Romania is not even known. People don't ever apply to Romania. But unknowingly to most of those applicants, once you have a Romania Schengen visa, you can still go to France, you can go to Germany, you can still go to Austria, you can go to Luxembourg, Lithuania, Estonia, Poland, Romania. You can still go to all of these countries. But unknowingly for them, since they want to go to Germany, right, they will not apply for Germany and they'll be denied. Whereas they can still apply to Croatia, even Romania. Even Croatia and Norway have the lowest denial rates. The chances of getting it using the Norway Schengen visa is very high. It's about 94%. While the chances of getting Germany or France is slim, or even Italy is very slim. Whereas if you have done Norway, you get the Schengen visa for 5 years, go to your Germany, go to France, and go to other places. And most of these nations still have some programs they are running, but time will not allow us to utilize all of these routes. So the Schengen visas requirements are very simple. One of the major
We can't hear you anymore. You are breaking.
Audio lost.
Sorry, there was a break in the connection. I just want to believe everybody is hearing me. Now, I said in Europe, when you are coming to Europe, it's believed that you should spend $70 per day. Now, how will your proof of funds be calculated? Very simple.
I think you
Now,
were
the
saying
cost of
something
your
about. You were saying something
okay, yeah,
about the major requirements for
yeah,
Schengen visas.
for the Schengen. Yeah, the major requirement is the proof of fund. Once you have zero or your proof of fund strength is low, you will not get it. And how will that be calculated? It is believed that you should spend 70 euro per day. Now, someone is actually making application for Schengen visa. On the application he's filling, he was asked, when do you intend to leave Nigeria? He said 7th of July. When do you intend to come back to your country? He said 5th of January, 2025. How many months is that?
6 months.
Between July and
6
January,
months.
6 months. So can you
6
say
months.
now 6 months has about 180 days. So 180 times 70 euro. That has actually raised the proof of funds so much. And beyond that, also now, the approving officer have to factor your flight tickets, and they also have to factor your hotel stay, because if you are going for tourism, for instance, we'll still look at some of the certifications, but proof of funds is the core. You are going for tourism, certainly you have to stay in the hotel, because we don't know anyone in Norway. Now you want to stay in the hotel for 6 months. Let's assume average stay is 30 euro. Now 30 times 180. You can use it now, you'll be needing more funds and more funds and more funds. And in most cases, the Naira is just knocking at the door. So how do you cushion this? Never visit any country for more than 5 days. Yes, I know you actually need the Canada visiting visa, the 10 years Canada visiting visa. And if God help you, you get it, you don't want to return. We know. But don't go and state that since you are coming for tourist or visit, you want to go and visit for 5 days and you don't have anyone you are staying with, or sorry, more than 5 days, and you don't have anywhere you are staying, you don't have a friend or relative there, and you just have to start lodging in a hotel. If you elongate your stay, the Naira is just around the corner, because if you are a tourist, don't you have a job? Don't you have other things you are doing? You just want to go and be chilling, pardon me to use that word, you just want to go and be relaxing in someone's country for 6 months. It's possible if you have the means. Proof of funds will come in. So never apply for more than 5 days. Nobody knows, no, the visiting officer, the visa officer doesn't know the number of days you want to stay. You are the only one who knows. So shorten the stay. 5 days is okay. Outside getting that now, another core requirement, you see, we have not even gone to your others. These are the 2 core requirements: your proof of fund and your health insurance. Some of us are actually making applications. We are not using the right insurance programs. Every nation or every program has insurance policies that cover them. So the insurance you use for Barbados, or the air declaration that's used for Barbados, is not what you use for Schengen regions. There are European insurance bodies that works with the Schengen. So if you are using the insurance for Canada, or the insuring body for Canada visit for the insuring body for Europe, you might not get it. So you just have to know the right insurance policy. And you too can sell insurance packages. Insurance packages go between $30 to $50. You can sell them $70 to $100. If you want that, you'll get to know that in tomorrow's class. I think it's part of what we'll be learning tomorrow. So you must get the right insurance. Now, if you'll be staying for 1 month, at least, if you'll be staying for 5 days, get 1 month insurance cover. And insurance are also important. They are not just mere documents. God forbid something bad happen, that insurance policy will cover or speak for you. So that is another thing to note. Now, beyond the proof of fund and insurance, you need to come with the following documents. You need to come with a flight ticket and the name, the hotel reservation. Though I've explained this, you don't need to buy a real ticket because you might be denied. And some of these airlines might not give you a refund. So you don't buy a real ticket, you buy a dummy ticket. You don't pay for an hotel you have not gone to. You still have to get a dummy hotel reservations. I can guide you on how to do all of these things. They are easy, they are cheap. So that when you want to package your client for Shing, because I want to believe after today's visa class, all of us should start running visa services, especially we have learned a few about the e-visas, visa-free countries, countries on arrival. And even if you are running Schengen package, the core requirement has always been proof of funds and insurance cover. Get the right insurance policy. And beyond that also now, you need to come with flight ticket documents, verified flight ticket. Most people don't use verified flight. They don't get the right ticket. They'll just go and do a flight reservation. For instance, if I go to Qatar website, I can reserve a ticket for the next 3 days. Now, do not use a reservation because reservation is still a ticket awaiting payment. Because by the time you come with that reservation, the visa officer can just go to Qatar website and put your details, and he will get to see that the ticket is pending. And in that case, he doesn't have to talk too much. He'll just tell you, okay, we'll get back to you, and that is a denial in the process. So don't make a reservation, because for some of us who are here, you can still reserve a ticket on your website. Don't go and reserve and print something and add it to the document. You will be denied. So, and don't pay for a real ticket, because if you go pay for a real ticket and you are denied, you might not be able to get refund, so that you don't lose any form of money. You can still get dummy services. Anytime you want dummy services, you can reach out, we'll get that for you. You can still get dummy hotel, because they want to be sure that you have made an hotel reservation for those 5 days you want to stay. And it has to be a verifiable hotel, a paid reserved hotel, but you will not be paying, just like I said, so that you don't lose money in case of denial. So once you have this two, invariably, before going for visa, you must have your passport. So you must have your passport with you. You can do the application online. And beyond this, national tie. What ties do you have with your country? National tie in this case could be assets. Do you have any assets in Nigeria? Do you have landed properties? Do you have treasury with the government? Do you have shares with some known companies in Nigeria? Do you have bonds and all? Well, if you don't have national assets, it's not too bad, but it's good you should. Because the visa officer wants to see every reasons or what will make you come back. And this could also include your business. That's why if you are here, your business is not registered, go get it registered. Because when you two want to fly, all of those things could serve as embargo. Get a CSA registration. If you don't know how to do that, ask Madam Kuzang, they will guide you. Get a CSA registration, because they just want to see the tie you have with your nation. It is pre-believed that if you have a business down, you'll practically not shut your business and not return. Because the phobia for the visa officer is not giving you the visa, is the chances of you not wanting to return. So they are trying to put a stop on all of those reasons. So if you have a national asset, it's fine. And your business could still pass as an asset. Landed properties could still pass as assets. Treasury bills with government, if you have bond with government, can still pass as assets. Shares with companies can still pass as an asset. Include all of those documents. Sequel to that also, when you still need family ties or blood tie, do you have a wife? Are you married? What are your relatives? Your nativity? What indigene are you? Where do you come from? Put all of those things. Okay, I came from so part in Delta State. Put it. so that they will be sure, okay, this person will come back. If you have relatives, state it in your.
Hello.
That's why. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now never submit an application. Never submit all of this application without also making a written application to describe a kind of a statement to talk about yourself. Do that, to add that. Once you have those things in place and your international passport still have time validity of 6 months, trust me, your visa is just around the corner, especially for the Schengen. And most visiting visas you can think of. Get good proof of funds. How do you calculate your proof of funds? The cost of your flight ticket, it's plus the total number of the cost for the hotels, the number of times you are staying. Don't forget times, sorry, plus them together. Then how many days are you staying? If it's Schengen, it's believed you should spend $70 per day. So plus the cost of your insurance, then 70 times 5. If you're staying for 5 days, that should be 350 euro. Compare that to Naira. You could have the cost of that in Naira added to the cost of your flight ticket, added to the cost of your hotel reservations, your insurance. And don't forget, beyond this ones, you still need some extra cash called the BTA, at least with a 1,000 or 500 BTA for some nations, you're good to go. Once you have a good proof of funds, or your client has a good proof of funds, your client has a good insurance cover policy. Don't buy the wrong insurance policy. There are insurance for every region. Take the time, ask the right questions. Because if you buy insurance for Barbados, you will not get an approval for any of them. You must ensure you buy the right Schengen visa and the right Schengen region insurance. Don't forget you need a viable flight ticket, not a reservation. If you make reservations, you'll be denied. And sometimes also now, the visa officer might not check your details maybe after 3 to 4 days. I mind if you have done a reservation, what happens? The ticket must have been canceled. Everything is just not working. Then just be sure that they are not going to give you anything to an approval. So when you want to buy dummy ticket, depending on where you are going, you can buy dummy ticket for 48 hours, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, and even 1 month. So if it takes them 2 weeks to actually go over your information, the ticket is valid. That is the more reason why you have to get those things in place. Your hotel reservations should also be valid. Though you are not paying, it's called dummy reservation and it's verifiable. If they go to the hotel and send them your details, the hotel will confirm that you are one of their intending guests. Not that you just do some shabby stuff. This has always been the reason. Remember earlier I said, nobody denies you. Visa deniers are not tied to village people. I do understand Africans, we have cosmic and dark past. I'm not against that. But still don't forget, those people are not the reason for your denial. Your documentation and requirements are the reason for the denial. So don't get to, remember the instance of the client I told you who prayed 21 days during the rainy season, was beaten by rain. But as long as you carry the wrong documents, I know a saying that says God can do all things, but not stupid things. Yeah, God can do all things. I know that. I believe in God. I'm a Christian. God can do all things, but God does not do stupid things. You can't be praying to God with the wrong document. It's not a magician. Or no, I do understand the Bible says that the heart of the king is in the Lord's hand. I understand miracles happened. God still do miracles. I'm not against that. Or don't leave one says to miracles. Because do you know, carrying the wrong document can, outside a denial, you can get a ban. You can get a 10 years ban. So why would you want to do that to yourself? So always ensure you get your documentation right. No one is responsible for the denier, or no one is responsible for the denier. And don't feel that the visa officer just wants to deny you. No, he or she is under surveillance as well. Why they are still helping with the interview, there are other bodies who are checking them. It will say that the approval etiquette are met. So don't think that that woman doesn't like me. No, but she doesn't know, you don't forget. So there's no, she'll be your enemy. It's practically because you carried the wrong document. So with the right document, you sure have an approval. And don't forget, lastly, you need a history. You need a travel history. At least have your passport stamp. Don't just carry a blank passport and you're going to Europe, you're going to Canada, you want to go to Australia, you want to go to the US on visiting visa or conference visa, as the case may be. It's you might not, you will to all extent not be approved. But when you have gone to, you could even go to neighboring African countries. Just try and get your passport stamped. Don't just go with a 30 or 32 page passport, zero stamp. And here you are coming for US interview. That must be mystical. So once you have those things in place, the right documentation, and always use information that are verifiable. I don't understand. Some Nigerians, in the aspect of proof of funds, use doctored documents. They use doctored bank statements. Don't involve in such. Don't accept such, and don't engage in such too. Ensure your clients get the right document. If you are running it for a client, ensure he or she has the necessitated proof of funds. Now you know the number of times they're staying. If it's going to Schengen times 70, times 70 in euro, the cost of his flight ticket, the number of days they stay in the hotel, and what is the cost for those days, his insurance policy, how much is the insurance cover, how much did he pay for the insurance, add that. He needs BTA as well. When all of those things are figured out, do the conversion in Nigerian naira and ensure that your client has it in his bank account. But when it comes to the proof of funds, there has been a cushion effect so that you don't use doctor, because some of these clients only have 2 million Nigerian naira, and that is about $1,300. And it comes up to you, say, I just do everything you can, I want to fly. Remember, you are not the approving officer. You are only a professional who knows the right information with the right information. So you should know that that will not work, because the cost of his ticket, to and fro, a return ticket to any of those countries is between $700 to $1,500 to any of the Schengen countries. And he's now coming, all he has in his bank is 2 million. And he said, do something. And in doing something, you now start using doctored reports or doctored bank statement. That will not work, because the visiting officer might check. And if they check and they find out that it is doctored, clients might get a visa ban. Remember, it's not the client failure, it's your failure. Your business image will be tarnished and other referrals will not come. It's better to do just one successful job than to fail at 20. Because if you do one successfully, you become a juggernaut. I don't understand the Nigerian system. If you're able to get one Schengen visa, you will get a whole lot of clients. I know a partner in Lagos who uses our services, your fast track travels. Because she keeps getting results, she doesn't do adverts. So the people who she has helped to fly are sent, some have sent the entirety of their village to her. Because when they ask, how did you get to Canada? I said, oh no, there's someone who helped me. Take her contact. And that gave her leverage. She doesn't have to take the pain to start running ads or start doing marketing to look for clients. Her first job became her last advert, and she keeps having consistent referrals. Ensure you get everything right, because your success, one success is all you need. The traveling space is actually filled with so many troubles, but comes with so many rewards if you are doing the right thing. With the right informations and documents, you can get any visa approved. Don't forget, there are no village people here. Nobody is behind the failure. It's either the agent and the client. So, especially for visiting, because study is expensive, so you might not see so much people coming for the study route. And work visas for most countries are tedious, so you might not see so much people. So the visiting authorities or conference visa has been one of the cheapest avenue with which people are exploring these days, because if someone has 6 million in his bank, he's thinking on how to come to Canada with a visiting visa. The reason why these informations are being disseminated is so that you can be at the helms of affairs in guiding and advising, right? So that is that for the Schengen. Now for Canada, there are many routes or there are many streams. There are many pilot programs to Canada. We do Canada package, but we don't do all the streams, right? So for Canada, which is everybody's dream, but I don't know, some persons, not everybody. Now, there are different routes to which people can get to Canada. But most times we explore the hardest route. I will just get to tell us the cheapest, shortest, quickest, fastest way to get to Canada, either for yourself, for your family, for your clients, or your friends. Canada, which is one of the fast growing nations, everybody just wants to come by whatever means, has so many programs. Even as we speak now, there's a GHP pilot program that was launched just recently. They have picked up their caregiver program again, so many people will still go, and it's even permanent residents on arrival, so you can say it's juicy. So there are just so many programs. On the work perspective, some persons have heard about the LMIA, the Labor Market Impact Access Program. Now, most times, one route that has never failed has been the study route. Study routes rarely get deniers. And it's one of the most expensive routes because doing a program in Canada, you have to pay about 22,000 Canadian dollars or even more. So that has actually discouraged so many persons. So most people don't even think of that route. If you say study, say, no, I don't want to study. Just get me any way to get there. The conference, the visiting route has worked. It's not so expensive. As long as you get the same requirement for the Schengen is what you still need for the Canada is what you need for UK. The UK is 6 months. Canada is 10 years. America is also 10 years. American visiting visa is 10 years. It's doable. You can get it. Not so expensive. As long as you're having the right documents. But if you don't have the right documents, denial is just a knock away. But if you have the right documents, you can still get the UK visa in weeks. 6 months UK visiting visa. With the right document, you can get that. Canada 10 years visiting visa, you can still get that. American 10 years visiting visa, you can still get out the right document. But it might not be so cheap or easy. But the only shortest possible way to get to Canada is just do a short course. Many institutions in Canada, I don't understand for most part of the studies, sometimes in January 22nd, some of us who are into it, we remember the provincial attestation letter issue that came up, where if a client for an undergraduate program gets admission, he or she still needs the PAL or the provincial attestation letter, though most of the schools now do it because the government has actually given schools or provinces have given the schools access to start issuing that. So the provincial attestation letter is easy to get, but study still expensive. There are still short programs or courses you can do in Canada that you don't need a study permit, you don't need a provincial attestation letter, and they are between 2,000 to 6,000 Canadian dollars. And you don't even have to pay 6,000. You only pay 25% of the tuition, and you're on your way to Canada in fewer months. But the challenge so far is this route is not known to most people. So there are so many short courses you can do. Some are 22 weeks, some are 40 weeks, less 6 months, because 6 months should be 90 weeks, I guess. Some are 52 weeks, some are 10 weeks. And trust me, getting admission for all of these short courses takes between 24 hours to 5 days. In between 24 hours and 5 days, you can get admission for most short courses in Canada. Schools like CIMT, you can still go and browse about them. You don't even have to pay anyone to help you out on this. CIMT College. There are so many short programs you can do. And admissions are quick. Can College, so many. The list is inexhaustible. But maybe I'll just get that doctored or documented and have it shared with us so that you can actually see a list of schools where your clients can actually come to certificate courses for 6 months, less than 6 months. Now, the ideal thing
We
is
appreciate that.
okay, yeah, that will be sent.
Please, we will appreciate that a lot.
Okay, great.
That'll be
That
very
was
great,
like,
sir.
okay, yeah, DCIMT now. They have so many short courses, and this is a good
Yeah,
news.
thank you.
You don't need so many things to fly. You just need knowledge to come to Canada. All you need is apply for a short course. These courses are less between 1,000 to 2,500 and Canadian dollars, right? So once you apply them, the programs are to run for more than 2 months. While you are in Canada, it's one thing to come to Canada with a visiting visa. So what you need, you get admission here between 24 hours to 5 days. You have gotten admission at least 25% of the tuition. Now, once you have that, you can just go to canada.ca and apply for a tourist visa, visiting visa. This time you'll be given with no denial. The reason is because you're not coming to visit, you're not coming for tourists, you are coming to study. Do you see that now? So the Canadian government will give you, and they are still going to give you 10 years visiting visa. But you're going to do this course. The good news is within your first 6 months there, because in that 10 years, you have to spend a maximum of 6 months per entry. You have multiple, you can come to Canada multiple times, but you should not stay beyond 6 months. So while you are there, you can now do exchange programs. Exchange programs are from the course you are doing, you can transfer to another course. But this time you don't have to pay international fee, like the fee that international applicants are paying, because you're already in Canada. So you are going to pay the fee that Canadians are paying. So it's usually 50 to 30% cheaper. And once you do an exchange program, at the end of the program, you get your PGWP, which is your postgraduate work permit, or you even get yourself a permit, and that ends it, never to return to Nigeria. Maybe unless you are coming to check your family and friends or to do one or two things. And this route does not take longer time. It's just a matter of few weeks. So there is the Government of Canada website. So all you need is just for a temporary resident visit. And the chances are just so high. The chances are just so high. So in a bit now, I will walk around getting the list of courses where you can do cheaper programs and in less possible time. Your clients, you can move more people to Canada than exploring the PR routes, the provincial nominee, the so many routes I can't even remember at the time. All of those ones, the chances are slim, the requirements are high. And for all of these short courses, you don't even need IELTS, they don't need TOEFL, they don't need to do any English test, because they are actually coming from Nigeria and is an Anglophone country, and most of them has been taught. And they can come with just a NECO or WAEC result, so they don't have to have graduated before and all. Even they can come as a mature student. So mature students are people who are above 21 and have not been to school. You can still come in. And while you are there, you can still do exchange programs like apprenticeship. There are so many apprentice courses or trade courses you can still take, and all of that will still confer you residential permits. Easy.
Please, can you show us back that the UN, the Canada website?
Okay.
The government of website in Canada.
Yeah, this is the Government of Canada website. Though, just like I was telling the organizers, we can't actually discuss everything here. But one thing I will do is we are going to help out maybe after this class, either today or tomorrow, for depending on whatever area you want to start rendering services on. We could still give out consultation on those areas and guide you and help you so that you can actually achieve the intended results. So that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
God bless
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir.
Amen. Amen. And bless us all. Because the intended goal is to see every participant excel in the traveling space. Like my humble self, I've been around for a while now. And it has always been juicy. It's even the best industry. It's interesting to know. I read petroleum engineering.
Wow.
From the Federal University of Petroleum Resources at Fulham in Delta State. I even had my master's in University of Ibadan in upstream petroleum engineering. But I actually got to find so much relevance in the traveling space. And that has always been so amazing. Even at some point, I wish I even did hospitality and tourism, because it pays for real, especially at this time where what Nigerians need for the Nigerian markets is Nigerian markets are actually looking for a trusted consultant. And for you to be a consultant will be trusted. You need the right information. It's just the right information you need. Because these things are not magic. These things are not rocket science. So once you have the right information, you can get your client to any country of their choice, to any destination of their choice. All you need is the right information. Always use valid and legit documents. Don't tarnish your business image by trying to use doctored documents. Any documents you can't provide, don't try to fake it, because that will also hamper on your service delivery. So that is that for the visa services, and pretty much we'll be having questions. So I'll just allow 2 to 3 persons to ask questions before we move to the IATA.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I call this. This is an impartation. I really appreciate you for that, sir. I'm Ben Great. I'm Ben Great by name. I'm Ben Great by name.
Okay. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting
speaking
you.
Speaking from Abuja.
Okay.
I want to ask.
Nice.
I want to ask. When a person doesn't have enough fund to make his proof of fund, is there any other way you can do it genuinely without cutting corners?
Yes, there are other ways. Although that I never wanted to discuss that until tomorrow. But let me just, the easiest way, if your client doesn't have proof of funds, don't use doctored. There are sponsored accounts. Sponsored accounts are organizations who have sufficient funds in their accounts. I do understand you might not have such connections, but we are there to help you. If your client don't have sufficient proof of funds, you can reach out for sponsored accounts. We can even use our own organizational accounts in Nigeria. And to some extent, at least the available funds there should be able to suffice even for a family of 50. And if we don't want to use our own organization, we have partners with other top big organizations and names. So we can still use their account for your client or your own proof of fund. So that will now cushion instead of going for doctored and ways that are not clean or legit, you will just have to use sponsored accounts. But I think that will be discussed in depthly tomorrow. So when we come around tomorrow, we are going to see how we can do that effectively.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So the next question now.
This is Adegoke from Warri.
Okay. Nice meeting you.
Well done. Thank you so much. We are grateful for your love and free mind in dishing this information. Thank you so much. Please, I want to ask, yes, like you said, if you're going to Europe, 5 days is okay. I have someone that the brother-in-law is inviting, and she wants to stay in UK for up to 1 month. How do you see that?
Okay.
And meanwhile, the family have been rejected visa last year, but she is going alone.
Okay. Okay, now just for the purpose of time, okay, I will advise you chat privately. But in sequel to that, since it's an invitation, because for most invitation, the invited doesn't have to do so much. Most times, the person inviting the invited is the one. So the invited is one who takes most part of the proof of funds. So if you're inviting someone to come visit you, maybe you're in UK, invite someone from Nigeria to visit you, it's expected that you are going to put certain things in place. You also get those documents, as well as you have to also get a copy of your bank account. That has to be attached as well. Because if you're inviting someone, you should have the adequate means to actually cushion or cater for them. So most times when you are giving an invitation letter or a business letter, in case it's a business visit or whatever, most part of the household has been taken care of. You don't have to do so much. But when you are going either for just you going for visits, you get that now. That is when will be required of you.
Okay, so the 30 staying a month there does not have any problem since she's been invited.
And since she's invited, she can stay a month. So it's believed that the invited relative has the adequate means to cushion or sustain the invitee. You get that now during her time in Canada. But if she's just living, sorry, to UK rather, but if she's just living to the UK on her own, either for visit or tourist, she's just going there for tourism, don't use longer days so that it will not impound on your proof of funds.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Good evening, sir.
Okay.
Good evening,
let's
sir.
just take one evening to you, ma, so that we can actually go to Ayata, unless you guys want us to do Ayata today.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I think we should finish Ayata and then if we have more questions, we can ask.
Okay, but let me just take Fumi Lola Lawal. Other persons after the Ayata class will ask.
Okay. My name is Fumi Lawal. I'm calling from Lagos. I just want clarity. I want clarity on the proof of fund that you mentioned earlier on. You were talking about
come out and tell me. Is that okay?
Doctored proof of
How
fund.
do you log the car?
On that, what do you I don't know what you meant by doctor.
So you don't see that.
I don't. Of course, most proof of fund that we do is from banks. Is that okay? Then secondly, on the DOMI ticket you talked about, that clients shouldn't go with ordinary reservations for visa applications. And I remember some of the visa applications we used to do only reservations, because talking about issuing ticket, you know what it means. If you want to cancel, definitely you are going to pay, because it's not all ticket that is free cancellation. And especially some that we know in ticketing, you have to, after 24 hours, you cannot cancel again. So using DOMI ticket, how do you generate the DOMI ticket? As in, does it have ticket number or what? Those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay, let me start with the first question. Now, there are some agencies that you do doctored bank accounts or doctored bank statements. What doctored means is Mr. Lagbaja has 2 million in his bank. They are going to manipulate figures. You know, it's a PDF document. Mr. Lagbaja will go to his bank, request for his bank statement, which will be given to him.
Their mic.
Please, if you are not speaking, mute your mic.
Mute your mic, please.
Okay, now, so let me explain the doctored. There are some agencies. That is why the agency you use go a long way to impound.
Very bad. We cannot hear you well.
I don't know if other persons can hear me.
We can hear you clearly now.
I can hear you clearly.
Continue.
Okay, now, great now. So now, doctored in the sense that there are some agencies. Let's assume, for instance, Mr. Lagbaja wants to travel and he has 2 million in his bank account. So he goes to his bank and requests them to give him his bank statement. Then his bank prints his last or his current balance is 2 million. Because it's a PDF document, there are some agencies who will manipulate those figures, make transfers that never existed, and Mr. Lagbaja's PDF documents, the other manipulated PDF documents will now be reading 12 million Nigerian naira. So that is doctored. So doctored in the sense that it has been altered, it has been alterated, it has been affected. And Mr. Lagbaja knows he has 2 million. The agent will tell him, don't bother, just go with this one. So he goes with a dated PDF document that has 12 million. And he now goes to submit it for application, not knowing that the visa officer will still check back with his bank, because he's going to ask his bank, please, I need a bank statement for Mr. Lagbaja. Now the bank will now send 2 million. Eureka. He has 12 million. He presented 12 million, whereas it's 2 million that was in the account. So that is doctored. That should be avoided. It's illegal, it's illicit, and it's fraudulent. That could lead to a visa ban. Now for dummy tickets, yeah, from your question, I don't know if you have been joining us in our previous classes. Dummy tickets are verified tickets. Just like I stated in the last class, the dummy tickets are paid tickets, but they are not fully paid. It's as low as $20, $40, $50, dummy tickets can be issued. The reason why we can do this is because we have the issuing rights as a licensed IATA holder, right? And you can't use dummy tickets to fly. But when you pick that dummy ticket, it's going to come with the PNR number, it's going to come with the itinerary, and it's going to come with the book ID. So when you go to the airline website and type the PNR and the last name of the client, it will display his information. Do you get that now? So that is dummy ticket. It's verified ticket, but it was not fully paid for. The services for dummy ticket go between $20 to $50. So and it's verified. So you don't have to go with a reservation. You are not paying for never pay for a ticket for visas. Because Canada, if you are going to Toronto, for instance, to and fro on visit is around 2 to 3 point something million. You now ended up paying that, and your visa is denied, and you can't actually retrieve back your money. That will not be wise. So instead of paying real tickets, you can issue dummy ticket because we have issuing rights. For some of the students or participants today who have been following us in the past actually know what that means. So I don't know if that answers.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, it does. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah, you're most welcome. So for other persons, we are going to take your questions later. Apologies to that notwithstanding. Now, if you can see my screen, this is the IATA. For some of us who have been hearing IATA, it looks so nice. IATA. And I might not get to explain so much. I'll just give us bits and pieces about the IATA program, how you too can sign up and register. So we are going to do a live section where you can register for IATA. I think within the shortest possible time we have. Now, IATA is actually International Air Transport Association. They are actually the ones in charge. For every time you buy a flight ticket, IATA is.
I can't see your screen, sir.
Okay, Ms. Ngozi, how are you, ma?
Fine, thank you. Well done, sir.
I could see voice easily. Okay, it's
I'm
fine. Let me
enjoying
get
your class. I'm enjoying your class.
We can't see your screen, sir.
Okay, I'm sharing that now. Okay, now let me know if you can see my screen.
Okay, I'm seeing now.
Very clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So this is what IATA looks like. Very simple. And we are going to register.
Can't see it again, no. So I can't see the screen again.
It's showing here. It's showing.
It's showing.
It's there,
yes,
showing.
I can see it.
There's nothing.
Abbas, please remove your video.
My video is off. My video is off.
Okay, now. Oh yeah, now we are on the IATA portal. IATA. All of us in the past must have been hearing about this guy called IATA. Now, the IATA Bible will be sent, so I will not talk too much about IATA. We'll just get to the practical. And I did say earlier, we have helped some agencies in Africa to get the IATA license, and our service charge was $2,000. So now you are getting it all for free. It would have been nice if we just tell you about IATA so that you can't take registration.
Thank you, sir.
But now
Thank you, sir.
You most welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, what's that? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
God
sir.
blessings.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Oh, God bless you.
Thank you.
You can see I'm the one raising the alarm.
Thank you, sir.
Amen. So it means that at the end of this class, you should start making money. You too should start registering people for the IATA. There are certain documents you might not have, but we are pledging our allegiance. We'll help you get those documents with our connections. Most of the documents we have them, and we have the authorization to give wherever we want to give without appeal, favor, or even apology. So all that is expected of you is to listen. IATA is actually the body that regulates airlines, ticketing or consolidating officers, and even traveling agents. You know, if you have IATA license, people get to see you as a demigod in the traveling industry. And you can sign up. There are some parts of the IATA program that are paid. There are some you can even get all by yourself for free. But the ignorance behind the picture has kept so many people at bay, because when they hear the word IATA, it scares them. How am I going to get IATA license? It's too expensive. I'm not going to think about it. But here's the IATA portal. And for you to sign up for IATA is very easy. IATA is as simple, it's easy. The simplicity is like you signing up an Instagram account, just straight to their website. But the challenge so far is the website has been so hidden. You might not be able to just sign up so cheaply. And sometimes it's geolocation affected. Here in the US, very easy. So we are going to try for Nigeria. The website is portal.iata.org. So I'll be chatting that in our group, the group where all of us belong. So for you to sign up is portal.iata.org. So before we go to demonstrate that, how to sign up and all, let me just take the time and explain. When it comes to IATA registration, there are 4 types of IATA registration. Any of those registrations you hold confers you the right of an IATA agent. And you can also participate in any part of the world where IATA programs are holding. But the first is the IATA TIDS. And this is it under services, available services. Okay. Let me just, before I go to the TIDS, let me not be in a haste. Let me just explain everything. We have the IATA TIDS. That's the first. And what the IATA TIDS does is, now what is IATA? I said is International Air Transport Agency, right? So what is TIDS? TIDS is an acronym for IATA TIDS. Moment. Holding the IATA TIDS is not a complete IATA. Let's not forget that. Because what the TIDS means is Travel Industry Designator Service. This service or this license is usually given to people who are into things like logistics. DHL is holding TIDS. The reason is because most parts of their services does not require them to issue tickets. So that's why they are giving the Travel Industry Designated Service License. You get that now. So it provides intermediaries to other IATA holders. So if I have a TIDS, I can still have the IATA license. You see an IATA license you can use in your office. You can add that, because with that you can still get the IATA ID card, because every IATA member has the IATA ID card. You get that now. So that ID card gives you a global opening. And with the TIDS, you can do so many things. You can sell airlines as well. You can sell hotels. You can sell car rentals. You can do so many of these services. But the challenge is the TIDS is limited. There are not so many benefits with the TIDS, because we are going to look at other services, other parts of the IATA services that comes with other programs, or that other persons enjoy, or other IATA holders enjoy. So now TIDS is part of the IATA accreditation and changes. Here's where you get it. So under this now is where you get the TIDS. And the second service outside the TIDS is the IATA Go Light. Now, what the IATA Go Light does is, or what does it do simply is, if you have the IATA Go Light, you can issue tickets all by yourself. You don't need anybody to issue tickets for you. You can start issuing your own tickets. But for you to do that, you actually need something called the IATA Easy Pay card. IATA has a kind of a dollar card or a Naira card that is being issued by bank. IATA also has that. It's called the Easy Pay card. So if you have the IATA Go Light or the IATA Easy Pay or the IATA Basic certification, which is the IATA Go Light, you can start issuing your own tickets. But the limitation is you can only issue tickets destinated from your country. For I don't understand, another percentage of us who are here are from Nigeria. You can only issue SOTI tickets inbound within your country. So you can issue tickets for Lagos to Dubai, Lagos to London, Lagos to South Africa. You can issue those tickets, but you can't issue ticket for Accra to Manchester. You can't, because your jurisdiction for registration is Nigeria, and you can only use that license only in one branch. That is the only limitation of the IATA Go Light. And funding the IATA Go Light, you have to add funds to your wallet. That is just a challenge with the IATA Go Light. You can't issue tickets until you have funds in your wallet. So you must add funds to your IATA Easy Pay card. Once you add funds to your IATA Easy Pay card, you can now use that to issue tickets. The third is the IATA standard. That is what most airlines, local airlines in Nigeria are holding. Most agencies in Nigeria are holding the IATA standard. The only advantage of the IATA standard is it comes with a plan called the BSP. The BSP stands for Bill Settlement Plan. So the BSP is a program only available to IATA standard and other certifications beyond. So what the BSP does is it enables individuals who are holding those licenses to issue tickets on credit. You can see it's so amazing. Once you have the BSP and the IATA standard, when a client gets to buy tickets from you, you can issue these tickets even on credit. IATA will still issue the ticket. IATA will be the ones that will take the bonds. They'll be the one that will take the blame for you not paying. But you must hold a certain security deposit, which in Nigerian Naira is about 20 million Nigerian Naira. You must have that security deposit with IATA. So in that case, for times you are issuing tickets on credit without your clients even paying, IATA will be deducting that from your security deposit with them. For the first and second, you don't need any security deposit. That is more reason why you have to add your funds manually. But for the standard, where you have to use the BSP plan, you have to hold a security deposit. Because if you don't have that security deposit, you can't get the standard. And another advantage of this IATA standard is you can sell flight tickets. You can have more than one branches within your country. So you can have a branch in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. You can still have another branch in Abuja, Nigeria. You can still have another branch in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. And in all of these, your branches, each of those branches can still use your IATA login or your IATA code or your IATA information to issue ticket from any of those branches because you have the standard IATA license. So in that case, they can even issue without paying under the BSP plan. Now, the last is the IATA Global. Now, the IATA Global, as it seems, you will enjoy all the benefits of the standard, and in sequence to those services, you can have branches in more than one branch. Do you see that now? You can have branches in any part of the world you want. You can have a branch in China, you can have a branch in Nigeria, you can have a branch in London, you can have a branch in any part of the world. And from any part of the world where your branches are, they will be able to sell, issue tickets, even on credit, because the BSP plan also applies for you. And beyond that, also now, you can sell both tickets within your nation and tickets outside your nation. Someone holding an IATA Global can sell ticket for Accra, who is holding IATA Global in Nigeria, can sell ticket for Ejan to Manchester, can sell tickets for Toronto to Washington, can sell tickets in any part of the world. There are no limitations to that. So that is the IATA standard. Sorry, global. That is just the disparities between them. But outside these 4 registrations or 4 certifications, there are still other part services that is known as the NDC. NDC are still airlines in the IATA program. But what these airlines do is they only sell discounted flights. But if you are not holding the IATA Global license, you won't be able to issue tickets for those airlines. And still don't forget, for some of us who are joining us today, every time you buy tickets, IATA is the only recognized body selling tickets to the whole world, excluding the United States. In the United States, the body that regulates ticketing is the ICAO. But for other parts of the world, IATA does. So now, the cost of the ticket is not decided by the airline, neither is it decided by the traveling agent, neither is it decided by anybody. IATA are the ones deciding the cost of the ticket. And IATA give every ticket cost to all of their participating licensors at the same rate. So each and everybody goes back to start selling at their own rate. That's why you get to ask questions. Lagos to Gatwick, London. Airpeace is selling 900,000 naira. Qatar is selling 600,000 naira. Egypt is selling 2 million. So you ask, why are these prices not the same? The reason is not because there is no regulated price. There are regulated prices, but each person sells at their own rate. Each person goes to sell at whatever rate they deem necessary or suitable for them. So that is that. So let's not get to forget that. And in sequel to that, that is the NDC. So to get started, I'm going to turn off my own screen. And we have someone who is a participant. I don't know, is anybody that is using laptop to join the meeting? If you're using laptop to join the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so Joy, can you share your screen? Because I want us to register from using a client. Or I want one of the participants to be the one doing the registration, so that all of us can see that it is very easy and doesn't require so much. Then while she's doing that, I will now get to discuss the certification. For you to register for IATA, you just need a few stuffs.
Okay, you need to give me sharing rights.
Okay. Do you need sharing rights to share? Okay, let me stop sharing. Let me stop sharing while she shares. So now for you to register I've sent the link, portal.iata.org. So you are going to visit that. You are going to enter the information just as if you are signing up for Instagram. So once that is achieved, or once you're able to do that, you are going to get a mail. Then you click on the mail, which is to confirm your email. Then that takes you to register. Then when you are fully registered, we now explain all the certification we need and how to get them, some for free and some are just a little cost. So once that is being discussed and explained, then we can now move further to questions. So I'll stop sharing now so that you keep up.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Sorry, can anybody see my screen?
He just went off. He came off. Has gone on off before, again.
You can't.
You can see it.
No.
No. It came up before, but it has gone off now and went off again.
Okay, let me see. Okay, maybe because I'm trying to put in some sensitive data.
It's up, it's up again.
It has gone up again.
It's up again, yes.
Yeah, it's up.
It's up now. You can see.
Okay. We mentioned business name. When registering, do we use our personal name or our company name?
Please, is there anything we are expected to be doing now?
I'm just trying to register. I don't know. Hello, sir. Are you there?
Do it later.
I don't know. Is he online?
You click on the travel agent.
I know. Is our lecturer online? I don't know whether he see what I'm doing.
No, he's not here.
Just continue. The other segment. I don't know whether that one is to click all this.
The meeting is supposed to close by 6. Maybe he has gone out.
See the chat, Amela.
I think you need to allow him.
Well, you can go on with the registration now. We are watching what you're doing.
Okay, I think it's done. I should check my email. Okay, I have the email and I confirm email. Okay, so I should create this password now. Okay. Wow. I'm welcome on board. It's very simple. It's easy to register.
So
we are not saying that.
Can you tell us the process?
You're not seeing the screen.
No, we
tell us
only
the processes.
saw when you were successful. We only saw when you were successful checking putting in your emails and all that.
Really?
Tell us the processes. Tell us the processes so that we can write it down.
Okay. I went to the portal, and then it says sign in or sign up. Okay, so for a new person, I clicked on sign up and I inputted my email and the country of residence, right? And then it created and said I should go and check my email. I checked my email, and then the next screen was for me to create a password and select the kind of service, whether I'm an airline or travel agent. So I clicked travel agent, entered my password, validated it, and it came here to say welcome on board.
Okay, you clicked travel agent.
Yes.
Okay.
So how did you get the portal? Sorry.
He put it on the website, on the chat. But look at it here. Portal.ayata.org.
Please, can you call the portal out? Ayata what?
Portal, portal.ayata.org.
Okay. Thank you.
So what are you now?
I'm a travel agent.
Okay. Congratulations.
I'm not yet certified.
Congratulations, man. I just want to know. I just want to know what's.
You are not IATA compliance.
So not yet. I'm not yet certified. There's no code. Look at here. No code yet.
So what are you now?
Are there other options besides the travel agent?
No, after you've gotten to that, you need to go to account setup. Okay. So I just clicked on additional details here, account selection and additional details. Of course, there'll be so many things to be clicked. So here it says select category. Okay. Which you have to guide us. Nigeria is there. The company name if you have. Yeah. And what else? You search and all of that. So I don't know. Then there's additional detail here, and then there's confirmation. I think there are other things to be done. Let our teacher guide us. I don't know.
Hello, Joy. I'll just quick. Just Joy.
Sorry,
were there other options besides travel agents?
Admitted.
Sorry?
The other option was airline. There were two options, travel agents and airline.
No, there were three.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Excuse me, Joy. The teacher is waiting to be readmitted.
Can we just get
in the waiting room?
Hey. What happened?
Admit him, you are the
But I didn't get anything on the waiting room. Where's the waiting room now? Let me stop sharing so I can see better. People.
There are other options. So you will click the drop down arrow, and to show you other options of what is available. You can see accommodation there. You can see financial.
I think it's Ms. Brazan that can let him in.
I cannot see him to add him. I can't see waiting room.
I think it's Mrs. Brazan that can add him.
Please add our lecturer back.
Yeah, I'm in already.
Okay, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry I was disconnected and I was logged out. Okay, Joy, has Joy been able to give us a demonstration?
Yes, I've been able to create myself.
Okay, can you share us your screen so I can explain from there? Should I explain from my own screen?
Can we create it later?
And do it immediately. I've done mine too. It doesn't take you 2 minutes.
Okay, that's great. Now, when
the network is bad, we cannot create it.
Okay, if you can't create it, it's not so difficult. It's so easy to create. Just go follow the link, click on create account, then enter your email and your name. Make sure you're using the right details, because outside the initial registration, when you want to complete your profile, you will have to add so many things to it. Although you can still edit or change your profile on the dashboard, it's still possible. But to save yourself stress, ensure you are using the right document, using the right name rather. So if the way your name appears on any national means of identification in Nigeria or in your home country, ensure you get to use those informations. So let me just proceed from there. I am creating a dummy account now. So I'm going to share my own screen so that we will get to see.
Okay, so let me stop sharing.
Okay, yeah, you can stop sharing. Now, yes. When signing up for the IATA CIDS, for members who have joined or who have taken some classes before this one, they all know that we give free IATA CIDS. So for some of our previous participants, they actually know that there's a free IATA CIDS for them. But for some of us who are joining, you practically will not be able to get that. The reason is because outside these classes, some of the members here are part of the ticketing service. A larger percentage, or so to some extent, some of the percentages of people here have platforms where they issue their own tickets. So we only give free IATA TIDs to people who have their own flight booking portal, and as well as hotel services as well. So if those who have knows what I'm talking about, but for some who don't have, it's not a rocket science. You can also start issuing tickets. Just reach out to the facilitators. They will guide you on what to do, on how to get your own platform and all. Now, to sign up for the IATA standard for Nigeria, these are the only requirements you need. And getting all of these requirements are not so difficult. The first is you must have a business registration. You must have CAC. That's what Nigerian government called theirs. You must have CAC. Now, not every CAC can get IATA. Don't make bold to say whether your CAC is AB and Sons Electronics, you can still get IATA. Whether your CAC is Mr. Idowu and Children Enterprise, you can still get IATA. Any CAC can get IATA. But before you get IATA, you must have a certain amount of share capital. So in that case, you cannot get IATA with a business name. You can only get IATA with a limited liability company registration, a public holdings or private holding companies. Only companies can sign up for the IATA program. I believe when the IATA Bible will be shared with us, you'll still get more information. So when you feel you need the IATA and you want to go for the IATA, ensure that you have your business registered. If you don't have your business registered, you can still reach out to the facilitators. They will guide you on how to get your own CAC registration within the shortest possible time. So in doing that now, you get a registered business. And it's not just you registering your business. Just like I said, whether you register AB Travels and Tours, Cheesy Ticketing Company and Tours, that is not a yardstick. It's not a yardstick that you'll be given the IATA license. The yardstick is you must meet the following requirements. You must have a business, your business or company, you must have a company registration. That is a registered company. And you must have a certain amount of share capital. The minimum share capital requirement for your registered business is 30 million. You can see it's a little bit expensive. That does not suggest that you have 30 million naira. No. Share capital is 1 million share capital is 20,000. So you can add to, if you have, for some of us who have registered companies here, usually when you register your company, it usually comes with 1 million share capital. So if you have 1 million share capital, you can upgrade your share capital by buying more to the tune of 30 million. So 1 million share capital is 20,000. So if you want to buy 10 million capital, that is 200,000. 20 million share capital is 400,000. And 30 million share capital is 600,000. So you must have a 30 million share capital. The reason for this is so that when your business grows, you can even list your business in Nigerian Stock Exchange. You can still put your business out there in other stock exchange, and people can buy your shares and buy your stocks as well. So that is the first requirement. Once you have this, you have done all of the heavy lifting. And if you have an already registered business already, but you don't have up to that amount of share capital, the facilitators will still guide you. The cost of each million share capital is 20 million. They will guide you on how to upgrade your CAC to that. Now, the second requirement is you need a letter of recommendation from another existing IATA licensor. They won't believe, IATA won't believe you to run the business effectively. They need other people who are holding the license to actually vouch for your operations. That yes, please give so and so is a good person, is going to do the business for real. You get that now. So that is two. The first one I said, you need a CSO registration with a minimum share capital of 30 million Nigerian naira. The second requirement is you need a letter of recommendation from either an IATA licensor. So in that case, you don't have to worry. We will give you for free. Because if you need recommendation, it's something we will give you. Since for everybody who is part of our white label solution program, who are issuing their own tickets and all, we will be up for them to ensure that they get it easy peasy. So you need a recommendation letter from either a GDS provider or an IATA holder. Now, the third requirement is you must get a bank statement of 20 million Nigerian naira. So in the case where you don't have 20 million, let's take for instance, Kuzan Travels, Fly with Great Dave, Enhance Fly, those people need the IATA standard. IATA has actually created a platform where you can collaborate. So one or plenty or more than two traveling agencies can come together, apply as under one name, then they will each of them will be given the license. But each of them have to use one operating license. Reason to the fact that if one agency cannot the 20 million share capital, also the 20 million security deposit, then one or two persons can combine. But in the case where you can't even raise it and you don't want to combine with anybody, if you can do proof of funds, what they just want is your bank statement, but it's verified. They are going to verify if that money is there. So you can do proof of funds and get banks to add that to your account, print your bank statement, and complete your registration. Now, there are two other documents you need. You need a certification from Civil Aviation Authority of Nigeria, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA. You need a certificate from them. And lastly, there's a body called NANTA, National Association of Nigeria Traveling Agents. You need a certification from them. Now, to get certification from NCAA is less than 80,000 Nigerian naira. And to get a certification from NANTA is as low as 20 to 40,000, depending on the state where you are in Nigeria. So once you have these 5 licenses or 5 certification, you are good to go on the IATA, Basic or IATA Go Light or IATA Easy or the IATA Standard. You are good to go on this registration. But we did say something earlier. For some of our participants or some persons who are already on our white label program, we promise to give them a free IATA TIDS, and we can still help them get the IATA Standard with just a little amount. Now, the amount you are paying for now is not to get yourself registered, because virtually all of us now can register for the IATA program. It's just to help in the cases where you need the bank statement. We can get you a sponsored bank. That's why you are paying a little amount. Then for the NCAA, we have someone in Lagos. For those of you who reside in Lagos, or for some of you who can go to Lagos, we have someone in the NCAA head office in Lagos that we can easily give the call to help you get the NCAA certificate without stress in minutes. Now, for NANTA, those of you who are still in western part of Nigeria, we can help you get that also easily with just few calls. So in a bit now, the only limitation for some of us who are not part of the white label program and who wants to get that, or who wants to get the IATA standard or Go Light account, is just for them to make sure they have the CAC and just the bank statement. So once those factors are in place, if you sign up for the IATA program, you will get the IATA license. So these are just the things you need. You need a CAC document with at least a minimum share capital of 30 million. And I said 1 million share capital is 20,000. And for everyone who has a registered company here, most of the registered companies, their share capital they give is 1 million. So you can buy for 29 million more of the share capital, which is simply 29 times 20,000. So whatever the figure is, what you'll be paying extra to upgrade to the 30 million share capital. And once you have that in place, then we'll get you a recommendation letter. Once we get you the recommendation letter, you need at least a security deposit of 20 million Nigerian naira in your bank, in your business bank account. Mind you, business bank accounts, not private or individual bank accounts. 20 million shares. So it means with your CAC, you can open bank accounts. You get that. So once you have that, then the next thing you need is your NCAA certificate, while the next is your NANTA certificate. Once these 5 requirements are met, you can sign up on your own, or if you have clients or people want to sign up for the IATA program, you can charge them whatever amount you want to charge them. Ensure that they have all these requirements handy. And the ones they don't have, you can still reach out to us. We'll guide you on how to get that. Then you get everything in place. That is the portal. You too can register today. Anybody can register. It's not rocket science. It's not highly technical. You don't have to be tech savvy. You only need to know how to read and write. It's something you too can do. So once all of that's in place, IATA will take 2 weeks to verify all the information. And once the informations are correct and true, you'll be given your IATA license, you'll be given your IATA ID card, and you can now be added to the IATA program. So you can now tell friends and families that you have IATA, including your client and customers. And that will increase your standing rights, and people will get to trust your businesses more. But still notwithstanding, you don't need the IATA to sell. All of us who are part of the white label program knows that. Once you have our own white label, you can use our own license to still issue tickets in your own business name, and the ticket will be valid.
What do you mean by white label, sir, please?
Okay, the white label is actually a solution our agency uses to empower people, businesses, educational institutes, consultants, and traveling agents to have their own flight and hotel booking platform. So with that white label, you have your website and your business details from where clients can buy flight tickets from you from any part of the world.
How do we become part of it?
Exactly. Okay, you will reach out to the facilitators. They will guide you, and they will guide you on how you can join and how you will have the same as well. So all you need just to reach out to the facilitators, that's all. So in view to this now, that is all you need for the IATA. And more information on the IATA is contained in the IATA Bible. So at the end of the program or the section tonight, I guess it's getting late over there, the facilitators will share or send us the IATA Bible. For those of us who have the time, take the time to study it so that you can be astute enough. And if you have other questions, you can still reach out. I believe at the end of this section, I don't know, maybe the facilitators will make available my WhatsApp contact, so you can reach out for questions and all. So in view to that now, I do understand some of us might have pressing questions, or there are other questions you have been wanting to ask. So I think we have 29 minutes to do all of that. So if you have a question, just put up your hand and I'll call your name, then you'll get to answer. So I think we have Mrs. Tina. Mrs. Tina, I guess you have a question. Can you ask your question, please?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the education so far. Please, for the stay in Canada, can we do with children?
Look at these things. Put them away.
Okay, your question again, please.
When you are done.
That short stay, that short study,
yeah, if you are a mother, you can go with your children, but you can't go with a dependent that is 18 years and above.
Okay, for that short, like
yeah, in that short program, yeah.
So 52 weeks, Abby.
Weeks, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I will chat you more on that. I have a client right now that got a UK visa, but is a visitor visa for 2 years, and she wants to go with Jackpa with the children. So
okay. Okay, that's fine. We'll talk about that just to save us time. So I will guide you on how to guide them as well, so that you guide them correctly.
Okay, please. And I have another question about the insurance for that against zone. Which one will you advise us to buy for our clients?
Okay, by tomorrow, you too can sell insurance policy. That is why tomorrow's class we answer that question. Now, why are we doing this? First, now when it comes to IATA, you have basic knowledge, so you can do IATA registration if you want. When it comes to visa services, you too can start doing visa services if you want.
Yeah, I want. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, facilitator. Hello, sir. Hello.
Let us go by raising our hands. And
hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Let him call us.
I think
when you raise up your hand,
I've been raising my hand.
We've already raised our hand. Let him call us based on the number. We'll have 6 of us that raise our hands, you know. And if you have asked your own, you can put down your own hands.
Okay, so Madam Tina, I don't know if that answers your question. So let's move to Mrs. Fumi Lola.
Yes, thank you.
My question is actually, I think you have answered it. It's based on the shares, the capital shares to get the IATA. And you've already answered it, that for us to increase the shares, for per 1 million is 20,000, because I really want to know how much it's going to cost to raise that 30 million shares. But you've already answered it. And we can also contact the facilitators for help if we want them to assist us, you know, in raising the capital shares. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. So now the third person, Mrs. Joy.
Yeah, thank you so much. My question is also connected with us, but with a little difference. If you have a limited liability company, must there be must the object of ticketing be there, or must you have a name, travel and tours or something like that in the name?
Okay, no, that does not, you don't need that. Anybody can sell travels, whether it's ABC and Sons, ABC Electronics, C&C wholesalers and co. Anybody, it mustn't carry travels in your name to sell travels.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then
so I think
secondly,
the fourth person. Okay, I'm with you.
Sorry. sorry. The second question I have is the white label, the what will I call it? The services rendered there, does it include tour and hotel services?
Yeah, when you come on board at first, you
Hello.
Hello, are you back?
Is it just me? I don't hear anything again.
I think we lost him.
I think we lost him.
Can we stay together? Can you hear him? Hello?
No.
We can't hear him
No,
anymore.
let's wait a bit.
Hello?
Let's wait a bit. So if it's up, we can come back.
okay now. So, Mrs. Joy, I don't know if that answers your question. Sorry,
Yeah, we lost you. The last part of my question has to do with those short courses. So I want to appeal if it's possible for you to give us the list of those courses, as well as peculiarities of the various countries for visa application, if you have a document, that contains them for a guide.
Yeah, that will be shared with us at the end of the class. A bit that will be done with the facilitators. So the facilitators will give us a PDF document of those schools and what applies for each of them.
Thank you so much. That's all from me.
You're most welcome.
Oh, thank you so
Okay,
much.
I think
Thank you,
next person here is Mr. Felix. Mr. Felix, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think Mr. Joy's question addressed a lot of my concern. I was going to ask you for those schools that with short courses and all that. But again, can you share your own details so that we can have some personalized questions addressed to you, please?
Okay, now in a bit now, the document in question, I'm still the one, I've compiled the documents, so it will be shared. You get that now. So the facilitators, because I can't reach any of you outside the facilitators. So that is more reason why the facilitators will be the ones to share the documents. But trust me, they are self-explicables and it's what anybody can do. You don't need any form of special skill to do it. It's just straight jacket.
Okay. Okay, so now, let me now then I'll ask my question if it's not going to be personalized towards you. Now, I have this challenge. I applied for TRV to Canada. And then, of course, it was denied. And then the reason given was the exchange rate, which, of course, went terribly high recently. And so I now try to reach out to the agent who did that for me. And then they are asking me to pay a huge sum of money again. But I think with this experience and exposure I've gotten here so far, I think I will be able to handle it myself. So I want to ask, is it possible I could just ask for the details from the agent and then handle the whole thing based on this experience I've garnered here and then handle it all by myself?
Okay, now for TRV, do you mean a transit visa?
Not a transit, it's a temporary residence visa.
Okay, temporary resident. Okay, that is a visiting visa.
Yeah.
Okay, now, so in that case, now you were denied. Yeah, you can still reach out since you have attended the biometric. So it means all of your informations are still on the IRCC portal. Right?
Yes.
So just ask the agent, please let him give you your login details. Yes. So what you'll do is when he send you your login details, you still come back to the Canada.ca website. So when you come to the Canada.ca website, you'll just log into your portal. So when you log in, then you'll be able to say if you should continue the application from there. But if the denier, because for every denier, there's always a reason. Do you know the reason why you were denied?
I think they said it was the FX. That's the balance in my account wasn't sufficient because of the, in January, the FX rate got high.
The insufficient
the
fund.
proof of fund was the issue.
Yes.
Yeah, proof of fund was actually the reason. No problem.
Yes.
So at this time now, it's either you brace up on the proof of funds or you possibly have to use. And again, when you want to make applications, it's always nice. Your proof of fund should be a business account. Even if your business account doesn't have the required amount, but because business accounts are usually active, funds come in and leave the account. So that actually makes it effective. And for some of us who wants to do proof of funds too, in the past, the mistake we make is you just go and activate one of your accounts that has been dead for a while. So they just push in some money to it. And all of a sudden, you are going for proof of funds. That will not work. Some of us, okay, the agent will tell you have to be putting funds for the next 3 months. So you start paying 4% for 10 million. Every month, patiently, you are paying it. And no transaction is happening in that account. And you now print the bank statement and you are going, it will still not work. When they say proof of funds, this thing should be an active account. Funds goes in and leave the account virtually most times. Don't just use an account that they are just adding funds using the proof of funds. That's why you spend money on proof of funds and not get results, because you are just using an account that is not working.
Yes.
They just added funds, and some people is when they added funds they are going to for the interview. It will not. Those people are not dummies. They also use their number 6. It's logical. You just the only funds the last time you did transaction was 2 weeks ago, and that was the only amount that was transferred to that account, 10 million. And now you are coming after 2 weeks, and no amount ever entered that account until the time you were coming for the interview. All of those things will raise so much skepticism and will impound on your chances. So what you do, ensure you are don't use doctor, just like I said. And if you can't get the necessitated funds for the proof of funds, maybe use a sponsored account. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Thanks so much.
It's okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're most welcome. So the next person is Mr. Saint Pat. Mr. Saint Pat, if you're there, you can ask your question. Okay, sorry, Miss Saint Pat, my apologies. Okay, she said her audio is not on, so she'll probably not be able to ask her question. Or if you're muted, you can unmute yourself. Okay, she said she sent a chat. Okay, I will get back to. Okay, you can.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, what you just said now, I have a client currently that did search for UK. She has a savings account and she moved the account, 8 million to the account that she wants to use. How do you see that? From one of our savings accounts to another
to the account she wants
also
to
have
use.
money. Yeah.
Okay, now the question is, if this, even what I'm about saying is correct, it was from our own account, that means the same name being transferred to another name but a different account, and that will not be too bad. That could still work. But she should not just put the funds there and not do anything. She should be transacting. Other funds should be coming in. She should be spending and funds should be coming in. Just keep the account active. It shouldn't be that you're just building accounts for the essence of traveling. It should be an active account that you use almost all the time. I think that is actually the best way to go about the process. Not just because 2 days to when you are traveling, you now transfer X, Y, Z amounts to the accounts that you want to use for bank statements. Or 2 days when you are going for the interview also, that will not be too good. Since you know you'll be using X, Y, Z accounts, start putting funds in their accounts and try to be spending in between intermittently. So that is actually what should be. But in a bit, that's not too bad. If you see have maybe a few weeks to our interview, she can just be transacting with that account, so that she doesn't just print a bank statement that for the last 6 months only one transaction happened. No, that would be skeptic and fishy. You mean in 6 months you have not spent money? You said yes. Look at my account. I haven't spent any money. That's not possible. So use an account that is active. Don't just because you are going for VFS Center in 2 days' time, you now print a bank statement. Only one transaction for 2 years. You know, they're also human beings. They have common sense and they also think. So if they just see that they'll know how this is up to no coming back. So they don't have to stress themselves, because if you go and you don't want to come back, they'll start engaging their military or police forces to start evacuating and eradicating. Some of us who are here, you actually heard what happened in UK. They deported some persons to Rwanda. Why? Because some of these guys came with visiting visa. Their times and days are up. They don't want to come back in an attempt, because some persons will say they will declare asylum. That if I get there, I'll declare asylum. Some of us who watch the news, you see what Nigerians do in Canada, especially in some part of Vancouver, sleeping under the freezing cold. They came with visiting visa. Now they want to become Canadian citizens in 2 weeks. All of those processes might not work so well. But with the right information, there are so many. Even if you go to visiting visa, you can still get a permit, either a study or work permit to stay. But there are right approach to do all of these things. But notwithstanding, I don't know if that answers your question. So that
yes, it did. In fact, this calculation of proof of fund, I think I have to apply it for my current clients, because from your calculation, this amount won't go. 8 million won't go for 2 people, even if you are staying 5 days.
You can't see. So that also now has cushioned you some ease. So there are one thing you should always know is, don't remember in my statement, every visa denier is not the center's error. It's not the embassy's issue. It's not the consular's fault. It's still the travel agent's fault or the client. Because some travel agents don't have ample knowledge about this. No problem. Tomorrow we are going to talk about immigration laws, and I'll make recommendations of some courses you two can take, at least, so that you can actually know what applies when it comes to immigration, the right information and what you should know, and still get some certification to that effect. So we'll look at all of that tomorrow.
One more thing, please. Just this is a student, and he has gotten his PAL already. We've gotten a school, gotten PAL, but this GIC.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We are doing that. Yes, we are doing that. But after that GIC, that's the keeping the living expenses there. Is it supposed to have much money in his account again?
Okay, now there's this saying, Canada. I guess that is for Canada. Canada with the recent problems. If you remember, before January 22nd, there were nothing like attestation. And for some of us who are current with immigration news, you'll go find out that most schools in British Columbia, their licenses were withdrawn, and all of them were banned from admitting students for the next 2 years. And not just that, some students who are in those schools also were affected. What was the reason? It was as a result of accommodation. Because of the massive influx of people in Canada, accommodation cost has increased. And that was why the proof of fund for study in Canada was also increased, especially for those who are holding study permits, not for the short course program, but the study permit. The proof of fund was increased from about 10,000 Canadian dollars now to 20,000 Canadian dollars.
Yes.
You get that now. The reason is because of the cost of accommodation. Cost of feeding is still minimal, transportation is minimal, but accommodation cost is just so expensive. To get an accommodation in Canada is so expensive. So regardless the GIC, your client still have to hold that amount. Otherwise, he or she might be disqualified on the ground of proof of funds. Hence, he has gotten his attestation later, so that's easing the stress. But he still needs a substantial amount, especially if it's an undergraduate going for a 3 to 4 years program. That will actually require that amount. But for further clarity, you could still put a chart after the class.
In fact, sorry, I need a contact. I joined late, so don't even know you.
Okay, I think the class is recorded, so you can still get the recorded version of the meet, and you can reach out to the facilitators on that. So I think the next person now is, I don't know if Mr. Joseph has asked his questions.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So Mr. Joseph, you can ask your question. Okay, I guess Mr. Joseph is not around. Can Pastor Ife ask the question?
This is Pastor Ife that asked.
Okay,
we are talking
great.
with Pastor Ife. Yeah, I think I need to drop my hand back.
Okay, Dr. Mike now, I don't know if you can ask your question.
Thank you, sir. Your depth of knowledge is mind-blowing. Thank you so much for the
most welcome.
Wonderful lesson. I actually joined when you were explaining the proof of fund. I don't know. I heard you said the session is recorded. Maybe you can just share a little light on it again, on how to calculate the expenditures.
Okay, now every nation has standard of living, nominal standard for each day. For most European, it's 70. For Canada, it's 100 CAD. So now European nations believe your daily expense is 70 euro per day. So for instance, your client is traveling for 5 days. To get the exact proof of fund is 5 days times 70 euro. At least that will cover for his living expense. Now, because of the hotel he or she is going to stay for 5 days, let's assume a night is 30 euro. So 5 days becomes 150. So that should also be added. Now, what is the cost of the flight ticket? So if the flight ticket, let's say, is 1.5 million, that should also be included. So you convert all euros to naira, add that together, as well as the amount for the insurance, add it up together. And again, there should be a certain amount of BTA or she should be holding. Some nations require 500, some require 1,000. So you make the conversion from 500 euro back to naira, add that up together, and see if the client actually have that in his or her account. So if he or she is not having that, you can now go for the proof of funds option, but do that correctly or use sponsored accounts. But the area or aspect of proof of fund will be fully discussed tomorrow, because tomorrow what we'll be looking at is proof of funds, insurance, and immigration laws. Today we're only able to look at visa services and the IATA. So tomorrow we are going to look at those ones. I believe that will still be further explained and strengthened when it comes to understanding. So I don't know if you have other questions you can still ask.
Thank you so much. I'm cool with this.
Okay.
It's clear.
And thanks so much to Mr. Babasanwo. I don't know if you are there, you can ask your question. Okay, I guess it's not there. Can Kelechi ask the question now?
Okay, well done. No.
Yeah, thanks
well
so
done,
much.
Sir.
Thank
So
you.
you said the only sure way of someone securing a Canadian visa is mostly through school. So what about
I can't seem to hear your question. I can't hear you. I don't know if I'm the only one.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me very well?
Very
yeah,
fine.
I can hear you.
Okay. I said you said the only sure way of someone securing a Canadian visa is through school. So I'm asking if someone what's the possibility of someone getting a caregiver work so that you can travel to Canada? And how sure is
it? Okay, first and foremost, I stand to be understood. Study is not the only surest route, right? I think in my words, I said the shortest, the quickest, the fastest, and less expensive route is through the use of short courses. The reason why is because when you're holding a short course, when you're going for a short course, you don't need a study permit, you don't need provincial attestation letter, you don't need so much funds. You'll be considered to be a tourist. So they don't see you as a student. But all you need is just to get the Canadian visa. So once you get that, you can still do the program. When you're in Canada, you can do exchange program. You can convert to being a student. So you don't need all of that anymore. You don't need PAL when you're in Canada already. And you, to some extent, will not be needing proof of funds because you are there already. So that is just what I said. There are 1,001 ways to go to Canada. Even currently, there are programs like the Canada caregiver job we just said now. Canada actually rolled it up again, and they promised to give permanent residence on arrival. So it's possible you can still get Canada caregiver job. It's 100% possible.
Is there any proof of fund on that? Sorry, sir. Is there any proof of fund
no,
on
when
that?
you are okay now, when you are going for work, you don't need proof of funds because it's believed that you have something, you are coming to do something there. But when you're going for study or visit, you need proof of funds because you'll not be working. Though I do understand by labor law in Canada and most part of the world, you have 20 hours to work per week. But the costs, academic costs are also biting. So even if you work 20 hours, you might not still be able to meet up with the threshold. But for someone who is coming to work, he or she will be earning salary. And because he or she will be paid either hourly, weekly, or monthly, as the case may be, he or she should be able to put the payment he or she is getting will suffice for his or her living cost. You get that now. So proof of funds are not needed for work routes. So if you work routes are the cheapest by far, but they're usually not so easy, especially for the Canadian system. But currently, just like I stated earlier, outside the LMI work routes, the PR, the provincial nominee, and all of that, Canada just rolled out 2 programs, which is the GHP, the Growth Hypersensitive Investment Program. You can explore that. Work permit for that comes out in 2 weeks. You can see it's the caregiver route also. And once you get a job as a caregiver, even the sweetest so far, you'll be given a permanent residence on arrival. So that actually makes big sense. You can explore that. And you don't have to worry so much on what to do. Just go to canada.ca, stay around it. All the information you need for success are there. And if you still need further assistance, you can reach out to the facilitators. They will give you the right information on what to do, either for your client, for yourself, family, or friends. So I don't know if that answered your question. Okay.
Yeah, you have answered it. And secondly, remember I won 20K answering your question correctly. I don't know if
oh my God. Oh God.
You know you are the one that won it.
We are rounding up already, so I'm sending my candidate.
Okay, yeah. For the
this one, everybody is winning.
No,
everybody is winning. No, make sure you submit your title.
No,
wait,
Madam Docas, I'm coming.
Yeah, Madam Docas,
we have pastors here.
It's the only one. Don't forget, please. Okay, great. We are grateful we have pastors, so we are covered. But Madam Docas, don't forget Mr. Kelechi, please. So at the end of the class, so that we'll do the transfer of 20,000 to him. That's great. That sounds
Amen.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
Thank you
so lastly, I don't think there's anybody with question. Is there any other person having question that's not been covered?
It's already 7.
Yeah, the last one. Sorry, the last one I have
sorry,
is
okay.
Sorry, please.
I've not been.
Hello, I can't hear anything as the class ended.
It's really very faint. I'm finding it very difficult to hear.
Hello. I was saying that my last question is on that South African visa. If somebody was denied, how do you apply again to?
No, since it's an e-visa now, it's fine. Since it's an e-visa are being denied on 2 reasons. One is either the informations are wrong or the information submitted are incomplete. Like most persons, most deniers on e-visas are on the reservation, the flight reservation. By the time most clients go about using airline reservation or reserve ticket instead of confirmed ticket. That could bring about a denial. Some persons who don't have an invite or where they are going to, since they don't have a hotel reservation to actually cover for that, that could also bring about a denial. For hotels, you can see the hotel reservation, confirmed hotel reservation without payment. That's, I don't know how we are going to learn that. But for the dummy flight ticket, you can see.
They went to VFS. It was not e-visa. I don't know. So they went to VFS. They actually paid for a flight ticket. They still have it. And they paid for hotel as well. They still have those things. They paid, they didn't do just reservation, you know.
Okay, now my view now is,
Mr. Abbas, please, can you help us mute your mic? I don't know why I'm muting you and you're muting yourself when you are not talking. You're only allowed to unmute yourself when you are talking. Please.
Come again.
Please, can we continue tomorrow? It's already late.
Somebody is talking to Mr. Abbas. Please, can the person come again?
I was asking a question about the South African visa. That's the question I was asking.
Okay, now let me just answer that question in a whole. South African is e-visa. You don't need to go to VFS Center. You can apply on Sunday and get it on Tuesday, or from your phone or your laptop. You don't need to go for any visa interview. It's an e-visa country. So just apply from your device. I don't know when they went. Was it last year they went or this year?
Yes.
Because if it's this year, also this year.
Last year.
Okay, last year there was visa interview, but now it's e-visa, right? So at the comfort of your house, you can apply with the right information they'll be given. So all you need to do at the time now is to reapply for them, but this time use the right information. And if you need help on that, reach out to the facilitators. You will be guided on the right informations to use and how to get them. Now, lastly, before we close, I think Mr. Isaac has a question. So I think that will be the last question for today, since we are still meeting up again tomorrow.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome, Mr. Isaac. Yeah.
Well done. Your effort is well commended. You're
welcome.
I want to ask if someone is being denied for like Canada. I have a client that was just denied for Canada. Can he reapply immediately for like that short course you mentioned in the program? Did you hear my question?
Yeah, I did not. I think I lost you at the point.
Okay, I said a client, one of my clients that was just denied a tourist visa to Canada. Can he reapply immediately for like the short course program like you mentioned?
Okay. Okay, so what is the question? Is it the right thing to do or what?
Yes, is it right for him to reapply immediately? Knowing that he was just denied as a tourist, a visitor's visa.
Okay, now let me reiterate. A denial is not a ban. A denial is simply one or two things are not right. You didn't get one or two requirements correctly. That's a denial. If you are being denied, you can still appeal. You can still make an appeal instead of making another application. Do we get that now? There's room for immigration appeal. You can still appeal in case of a rejection or a denial of the visa. But in the case where, because he was denied and he already went for application, it's still possible. Canada don't mind. Even if they deny it today, you can still come back tomorrow. It's your life, it's your choice, it's your money, it's your decision. They can actually, unless you have a ban. If you don't have a ban, you can apply as much times as you want. But whenever you're applying, make sure you're using the right route, the legit or legal documents, and you are meeting all the requirements. And do you know the beauty of all these things? These things are not hidden. On each of the government websites you're applying, all of their requirements for approval is stated there. it's just like an examination. If you don't follow the instructions, success is not in view. So for everything you need for visitor visa, whether UK or any nation, always refer, especially for most of us who are traveling agents here, don't rely, because what most people do is they give their services to other people to help them do it. The people who are doing it are not any better. They are only informed. So invest in knowledge, invest in time, spend time on this government website, know what they need. And in cases you need more information, reach out to the right people for the information. Because for Canada visitor visa, on their website, they have spelled out what you need. If you have what all that is required of you, you cannot be denied under what condition. But when you don't meet those requirements, you keep having deniers. And Africans, we blame our failures to village people, whereas these guys are even innocent of the blames. Because we are not using the right document, we are not meeting the requirements. For anything that goes wrong, it must be our village people or someone who's praying. That's why I'm not against the spiritual aspect. God can do all things, I know, but he doesn't do stupid things. If you don't have the right approach, God will not get to do the right thing too. You have to do the right thing for God to do what he's supposed to do. So he can still apply as many times he wants, but he should always do it the right way so that he gets the result. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I don't know. Okay, you're most welcome. So I think that is all for today. Yeah, and I don't believe nobody has question anymore. So tomorrow we'll be meeting. I don't know. We'll be meeting all things being equal by the special grace of God to discuss the other 3 segments. So thanks so much once again for your time. And those of you who want money, we are grateful.
All right.
God bless you. And
some of us do not interject and do not allow us to ask important questions.
Okay,
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You'll be giving us
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Wells.
Thank you
you
very
so
much, sir.
for
We
the knowledge you have
appreciate you,
really
sir.
released.
God bless
Thank you so much, sir. God
We are
bless you.
grateful.
Please, ma,
All
please
right,
don't
tomorrow
forget
we'll
to
be
send the
meeting.
recording.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the meeting tomorrow.
No problem. Any information you need, just drop a reminder in the group. Hello?
Okay.
Are we still together?
Okay, ma, please, the recording and the Bible.
Are we still together?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
time are you meeting tomorrow?
All right.
Please,
All right.
we need
So
the
thank you.
recording.
Yes, we are going to get the recordings, hopefully. And thank you so much. So tomorrow, please, let's try and get our networks ready so that we'll take the concluding part. Hopefully, we'll be concluding tomorrow. But if you don't want us to conclude tomorrow, no problem. You can add payment so that we'll continue. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So for those in Gamat's class, any information you need, just drop it. And for those in the other general lecture room, you can still drop every information that you need or reminder for anything that you requested for, so that we'll attend to you. So thank you so much for believing in us, and also share the good news of what you are learning and all the information you are getting. Tell people about Cruzan Global. This is what we do. We deal with hospitality in this, with our hospitality industry training. So any training that has to do with the hospitality industry. So please just share the good news and also plan to be available. Don't just wait for recordings. Let recordings be giving you like an aftermath, but be available to ask your questions. Yes. And I believe it's better off that way. Yes. So see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much, and God bless every one of you.
By what time? By what time? By what time?
Same time.
All right. Same time. 4 p.m.
No
Thank you. All right. Good night, everyone. So we'll meet in our groups. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.